Evening, good evening. Thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button. I apologize for being a few minutes late. Daniel Berry Sports and Highlights, Tanya McNeil and Liz Lagos, thank you for dropping down and saying hello. Okay, we have made it through another week, and I'm sure you all have heard the deflection in chief. They have finally started releasing some of the Ghislaine Maxwell, uh, no, some of the Epstein file. They were supposed to have released all of them, but they have started dribbling out the heavily redacted Epstein files. My sound is low. Let me see. Is that any better? Let me see. Thank you for telling me that, Liz. Is that any better? Let me know if that's any better. I hope it is. Because if it isn't, I don't know what's wrong. Okay. Hey, Vibrant. Good to see you. Is that sound any better now? Is my sound any better now? No? Yes? Let me go into you have your volume up? Let me see. Let me see. What do I hear? Huh. It's I can hear it well. I don't know. Yeah, I can hear it well when I actually go to my page and listen to the replay. Make sure your volume's turned up. Okay, I hope you guys can hear me better. I pulled the microphone closer to me. Let me make sure if all of the connections are plugged in properly. Okay, it's better. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate that. Okay, so we know that heavily redacted Epstein files have started dribbling in answering the subpoena from the I think it was the select committee, the oversight committee that subpoenaed the Epstein files. So we got that, and at the same time, coincidentally, the um, the deputy attorney general's recordings and a actual summary of his meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, the one woman who was found guilty on on all of the crimes that she committed alongside and helped Jeffrey Epstein uh, obtain some of the underage girls, and she's sitting in jail for 20 years. And subsequently, after talking to Todd Branch, the assistant attorney general who went in and talked to her, she was transferred to a prison that does not allow pedophiles, and that is some of the things she was guilty of, found guilty of, because she, in fact, did participate in some of the inappropriate sexual behaviors with underage minors. So let me see if I have. I'm just gonna go over this briefly because, in my opinion, it is a whole lot of poppycock, shall we say, poppycock. Okay, so they have released a little bit of it from the DOJ's interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, who would like a pardon from 4547. He's asking her. No, she is saying, Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me, and And I just want to say that I find I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president. Let me see. Let me enlarge this. And becoming the president now. And I like him. I've always liked him. So that is the sum substance of my entire relationship with him. Is that it? You like him, you've always liked him. So that sums up her relationship with him. But you liked Epstein too. You like Epstein as you brought him underage people to have relationships with. So what does it mean that Ghislaine Maxwell likes 45 and 47? Even though he has accomplished much with what she knows about him. Uh, uh, didn't Epstein accomplish a whole lot because a whole lot was ignored about him as well, allowing him to continue to accomplish things even after his first trial, where he was found to have had relationships with a 14-year-old and got a very sweet prison sentence that allowed him to spend all day out, quote unquote, working and only having to sleep in the prison. You loved him too. So what are they putting out? Okay. There is no list. We'll start with that. The genesis of that story I actually trace for you from its absolute inception, if that is what you're interested in. So what you're saying is there's no list on paper, so you're saying that the list is basically in your head. You have all of the information so does that mean that there is no list? Let me see what else this bimbo said. Now this is Branch. But do you think that the third point you say, which is kind of a failure by the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons. I have to enlarge this. There's the Southern District of New York investigation about that. There is a IOG report. There's a Southern District of New York investigation about that. Do you? So you think he did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about. And Ghislaine Maxwell response to whatever that was called. I do not believe he. Let me see. I do not believe he. I got my banner across it. She basically said she does not believe that he committed suicide. That's what she said. So you understand that when he passed away, I do not believe he died by suicide. No, that was her answer. So we do understand that Ghislaine Maxwell, a judge, has talked about all the times that she has hid and tried to paint herself white in the corner with lies to the court, in instances about some of the hey Dark Phoenix, how you doing? It is good to see you. And how she tried to paint herself white and tried to pretend like she was broken, had no money when the victims were suing her. So we know that the court is aware that she's a liar. But they put this out the same day that they put out the Epstein, a few of the Epstein papers. So they want you to look the other way. They want you to look at Ghislaine said, I'm a good person. Ghislaine said a couple of more things. We're gonna talk about Ghislaine later, because what I really want to talk about today, you guys, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news that I have been putting up about the economy. And one of the news stories that I have been putting up about the economy is that 4547 wants Intel to sell 10% shares to the United States government. And I was like, Well, I was thinking that maybe he personally stands to make money off of that. Biden had a big Chips Act that he enacted that was supposed to uh, create 800,000 jobs in the United States, uh, helping build these chips. But when 45, 47 got into office, he canceled the Chips Act. So they were concerned about China copying our chips, so they didn't want our chips to be actually created in China. And so he asked that, so that's 800,000 jobs he asked. And now China is also having to create the Intel chips. So 45, 47 did something very, very interesting that you may not have caught on to. He wants the U.S. government to buy in 15% of these chips, where they will own 15% of Intel chips. So let me put this together for you much as I have put this together about these Intel chips. Okay, so let's start with Keith Edwards. I want to share this with you. Follow along. This is very interesting. Here we go.
All right, we got more breaking news, and as I told you, we are going to follow this Ghislaine audio drop as it unfolds. So please do hit like, hit subscribe, so you can see the next update. And we are almost at 800,000 subscribers, so subscribing really does help. Now,
and his link is in my description box. This is the last bay of things in my description box. This video is under Lex. It's called Lex. I have 4 videos under Lex. The last title where I put these videos, please go subscribe to him. Keith Edwards.
I want to remind you that even the far right doesn't believe that Ghislaine Maxwell is trustworthy. The person the White House, the DOJ are now trying to use to make Trump seem innocent. Here is Tom Dillon, a far-right comedian, and Alex Jones saying just that.
Here's the issue with that. She's in prison for human trafficking, and you've got these lawyers connected to Epstein saying months ago, Alan Dershowitz, Trump better pardon her. And even before Elon came out and said, hey, Trump's in the list, you're never going to see it, which then has a lot more credibility now because of this. It doesn't mean Trump did anything wrong, but he's implicated. He's embarrassed by it. The issue with Ghislaine Maxwell is she's in prison for decades. So you can't trust somebody to testify who has already not implicated other people, but now that she's convicted in prison, maybe she'll say that I was involved. But I'm being sarcastic. But right. My point is that pressure mounts for Ghislaine Maxwell to be released to testify before Congress. I am of the thought that full disclosure is the way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, of course, full disclosure is the way to go, but you will not get full disclosure because once the deputy attorney general went to interview her and he did not work on her case, the best person who was involved with her case, James Comey's daughter, Muriel Comey of the Department of Justice, fired her. There has still not been a reason other than the administration has the right to fire whoever they want. giving for finding the person who successfully prosecuted a Ghislaine Maxwell's case. Let's be clear. So they send somebody who doesn't know the right questions to ask, or does he even want to ask questions? Is this a wink and a nod? Can we communicate what we both want without saying it in a tape? Can I just defer that I'm proud of somebody, and he's always been a great person. Now she's saying this, he's always been a great person, when we heard him out of his own mouth talking about grabbing women by the pussies. And look who we talking about who is proud of him. Someone who's procuring underage 14-year-old, 14, 16, 17 years old to be trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. So where is the bar in any of this? So she thinks he's a great person. Who is she? Listen to who thinks he's a great person. I will also go further, and she also said something to the effect that she had never seen anything that he did that was concerning to her. But she was having intercourse with underage girls. So what could she have seen below that would concern her? If her as a grown woman was doing it, do we think that she'd be concerned if anybody else did the same type of acts around her? Why would she be concerned if she was committing the same acts? I just really want you guys to understand how, and they are saying, who said this? Somebody said it was either 45 or someone in the administration said they believe that she is a scapegoat. So do you think that she's going to get pardoned? Do you think that her and Todd Blanche, who is the second in command of the Department of Justice under Pam Bimbo, who was 47's attorney in the what was the stripper name in this Stormy Daniels case, who is also good personal friends with Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney. So we know that they were putting off anything about the Epstein paperwork. And when Congress took their break early, then there was a special committee that still had business on the Hill, and they voted to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell to come talk to them. And they had Republican support. That's how they were able to get it over the line. And they issued a subpoena. And then the very next day, I think it was the very next day, all of a sudden, the former Trump attorney goes out to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. And hops on a plane real quick. And then the next thing you know, 2 days later, Ghislaine Maxwell is admitted to a prison that does not allow people who have been convicted of her crimes to even be there. So do you think that all of these recordings that they are presenting, do you not think that he was gauging on her on what she would say, and he rewarded her with sending her to Camp Cupcake, and they are presenting this at the same time they present the Epstein files? But it wasn't Ghislaine Maxwell who even brought up a list. It was Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi. They were the ones who talked about a list of people. And then they decided to come out and say that there was no list. And isn't it funny that Ghislaine Maxwell is saying the same thing that they are saying? Come on. Do you think that in a little while they are trying to set her up to be a scapegoat, to be a victim, in ignoring what the evidence that was put before a jury and they found her guilty of doing? Okay. So, let's continue.
I mean, what is it?
Hey Sandy, hey Soapy, it was someone else who came in. Hey Sandy, Soapy, and Leonard. Hey, how you doing? Okay, so let's get to the good point.
Going on when Alex Jones said, they could not make it more obvious that they are trying to use her to clear Trump. And it's my opinion that because they're going so hard like this, that he is definitely.
Now, this is the second thing that she said. Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me. So what does that mean to how he treated other people? To me, and I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievements and in becoming the president now, and I like him, and I've always liked him. So that is the sum and the substance of my entire relationship with him. There is something else she said.
Definitely implicated. Ghislaine. So my father really liked him very much, and he was loved. Really liked his wife as well because we were both Czechoslovakian. And as far as I'm concerned, President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me. And I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now. She has also said in this same interview that she does not believe that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. I think that's interesting. I wonder if she's also just worried for her life. We don't know. She's just saying Donald Trump's completely innocent.
I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was
So that's some of the recording.
never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
Okay, that's her. That's what she had to say about the president. Now, what about all the times where you weren't around? So, are you saying that you was in just Jeffrey Epstein's house 24/7? It has been reported that Trump and Epstein dated the same woman during the same period of time, and it was not you. So, are we to believe what this woman says? He is above board. And you've never seen him in his house. You never seen him in the massage room. So does that mean it didn't happen because you didn't see it? I don't know. But whose word are we taking here is the point. They think that they are giving us something that is, he's free and clear. Listen who's telling it. Listen at what position she is in for 20 years. And look at what this got her. Immediately, not the months that it usually takes to transfer a prisoner, not the months that it would take for a prison that doesn't take people who are convicted on the charges that she was convicted of to then go to a prison that doesn't take her type and then be able to it didn't take months for them to change their mind. It was days, if not 2 days after she talked to the former 4547 attorney who was on the case for him screwing a adult sex star while his current wife had just had her baby, who didn't use a condom, it is reported, by this sex star, who has a wife whose body is wide open from giving birth. He goes and have unprotected sex allegedly with a adult star. This is who we're talking about. Okay. And if you don't know what her body is wide open, they could be a lot of rips and tears in her body. If she had it naturally, there could be a lot of sutures in her body if she had a C-section. So that's what I mean, wide open and susceptible to any type of disease or infections and all of that type of stuff. Okay, so let that sink in. But let me go further. Here we go.
Jeffrey Epstein's client and said that there's a mystery Ohio billionaire whose name she couldn't remember. She told Todd Blanche, and she tried to remember for tomorrow. And on day 2, it just didn't come up.
You hear that? There's a mystery Ohio billionaire whose name she just can't remember. I'll try to remember tomorrow. And the name never came up the next day. Okay, let me see what it said. Let me see. Janine Maxwell, but you can find them. I mean, if you basically find a billionaire, female billionaire, what is he asking? We'll all because we'll probably meet tomorrow. And Janine Maxwell says, but you can basically find them. I mean, if you basically find a billionaire female, Todd Blanche. So the woman in Ohio who is wealthy that you work with, Janine said, and well, you can identify her yourself because she had the largest uh, clean Colleen painting that was huge. So you can find her because it'll be in museums. Todd Blanche says, okay. Jeline says, uh, so that's her, Todd Blanche. And so that was one of Epstein's client. Jeline says, yes. Okay. Ohio. One of the richest women
Interesting.
who has an expensive painting that is hanging in some museum, but I just can't recall her name.
Right? Interesting. Now, to this audio, someone said, and there it is, the reason she was transferred. This woman isn't just a monster. She's an effing liar, convicted of 2 counts of perjury on top of sex trafficking kids. You don't get cleared by a child sex trafficker. Let's just say that again. You don't get cleared by a child sex trafficker who has been found to have lied under oath. Just doesn't happen. Just doesn't mean.
Now, I played for you the judge and on Katie Faye's page, what the judge had to say about her, all the lying that she had done in the case that the judge was sitting for, about her finances and about not knowing this, and the judge hammered her for being the prolific liar she is. So we are supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, if Elaine said it, it's all good. It's bad when Fox News is questioning this bullshit. Let's see this.
And I mean, why not just ask Diddy to compliment you too? Here is what is being said on Fox News around this.
That list may not be written down on some nice, cute spreadsheet, but it's in her head. And I wish they would just
pause there real fast because I do want to like point a pin on that. There may not be an actual list, like who writes down who they're doing all the crimes with. It could not exist. She could be the list. Ghislaine Maxwell is the list. She knows everything.
Ask her the simple question. Well, then the people who visited the island, start writing down a list. If you're going to get limited immunity, you better start coming up with a list. And you can verify whether or not President Clinton went to the island. Go ask the Secret Service. There's a reason. The Secret Service is secretive, but they're also law enforcement. And if there was a commission of a crime, they still need to answer questions. They shouldn't be bashful about asking them. And I think they should go.
You should also note that when Congress subpoenaed her, she had not been compromised, in my words, by the Deputy Attorney General, who was 4547's former lawyer. And now she has some conditions upon her testimony before Congress. She has a list of things she will not and will or will not answer. Now there are some conditions put around her even talking to Congress now. Wouldn't you do that too if you went from a high security prison to Camp Cupcake? Let's continue.
To that direction, but
he deserves justice in the same way that Donald Trump does.
Okay, now let's see what happened to a woman who was rightfully put in Trump's prison. I talked to you guys about that the other day. Let's see, she was rightly put in Camp Cupcake. That's where she was supposed to spend her time. An inmate at Jalene's Maxwell Cushy new prison is transferred to a grim lockup after complaining about Ghislaine Maxwell even being in that prison where she was. So, what did the one who was rightfully sent to Camp Cupcake do when she said that this woman shouldn't even be in our prison? She got transferred to a maximum security prison herself, where she is definitely in danger. Let's continue.
So, and here we go. And let's not forget too that after giving this testimony, Ghislaine Maxwell was put into a cushy new prison. So clearly, whatever she said got the approval of Donald Trump and the Department of Justice. And well, let's just listen to this.
Were you ever told, do you ever think that Mr. Epstein was getting any money from any intelligence agency, including Mossad?
Well, I don't believe so, but I wouldn't know. I mean, I would be very surprised if he did. I don't think so. No.
So I don't know why they're.
I don't believe so, but I wouldn't know. I would be very surprised if he was. I don't think so. No. How many different answers was that? Okay. This is who we are supposed to believe in. Okay. Let's continue.
Showing that, but remember, the DOJ is being very specific in what they're releasing. They did this on the same day that the Epstein files are going to Congress. Secondly, Fox has a point of view here too, and we have to ask ourselves, why is Fox pushing this sort of stuff out? They have lots of stuff they push out. So to me, when I just kind of feel like, and maybe I'm becoming conspiratorial, maybe I'm just becoming realistic, but whatever they're showing us here, I think we got to believe the opposite. That's kind of how I feel. Like if they're pointing to this lying woman who is committed of child sex crimes, trying to make the president look better, or trying to say Epstein wasn't connected to Mossad, then I kind of feel like, well, maybe he was. And as I said, Ghislaine here was very asked point blank, do you think he committed suicide? And she says, I do not believe he died by suicide. No. Interesting. I don't think anyone does. I certainly don't.
Summer Breeze, you're not blocked. Yes, Gavin Newsom is most definitely standing on business. Bobby grabbed her by the wussy too. Hey, a view is a view. Good to see you. She said she was going to expose Trump if he didn't help her. She's a damn liar. Liar! It is good to see you. He is fanning out over Trump. Lordy. Hey, chat. Thumbs up and share. I appreciate you sharing me out. I most definitely appreciate that. Now, let's get into this Ohio connection and this Intel connection. If you guys are not familiar, that 4547 is now considering buying 15% of Intel stock. You know, he stopped the CHIPS Act that Biden had in place to create $800,000 jobs in the United States, manufacturing chips. You know, the manufacturing that he says that he are putting tariffs on all other nations so they would manufacture things in the United States. Well, if that was true, because he's economically ignorant, thus all his bankruptcies. If that is true, why did he stop the Intel from creating their chips here in the United States? And now that they're not creating chips in the United States, and they are surviving with having the chips made in China. Why does he want the United States to have a 50%, a 15% stock in Intel? Yeah, let's see.
Out a 0.02% gain. So here's a look at the top 500 stocks. We go to our interactive heat map brought to you by FinViz. One name under the spotlight today, Intel. Shares popped nearly 7% on news the struggling chip maker secured a $2 billion investment from SoftBank. And as Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick confirms, the White House is considering buying a stake in the company. So let's bring in Sarah Fryer, a technology editor for Bloomberg News, to talk more about this. You know, Sarah, less than 2 weeks ago, President Trump called for the CEO of Intel to resign. Now the administration is weighing an arrangement to gain a stake in the company. So what's changed and why?
Well, as is often the case with Trump, Tan just went and met with the president and had a good conversation. Trump was inspired by his story, he said, and that went a long way to easing the relationship and securing some funding that could help Tan's turnaround of this iconic U.S. company.
So it's been a bit of a bumpy road for Intel. So why is SoftBank, a Japanese company, investing in Intel? Is this a move to win points with President Trump or just really an opportunity to make more money?
Well, the future of Intel is nowhere close to certain. They still have plenty of challenges ahead. I think SoftBank is trying to come up with alternatives to NVIDIA chips. Maybe Intel can help them get there. They're also working on the big Stargate project with OpenAI to build data centers. Everything that's going to happen in the expansion of the AI market is going to require a lot of help and a lot of approvals from governments. You're going to have to build data centers in various states. That's going to require a lot of energy, a lot of agreement going forward with politicians. So these companies that maybe didn't need to think as heavily about Washington and their relationships are realizing that that is going to be key for the next era.
We also know that Intel has chip making in Ohio. Is that part of the equation?
It possibly is, but nothing is set in stone yet. The government hasn't committed to take the.
They have chip making where? Where did, excuse me, where did she say? Can you pronounce that for me, Summer Breeze? Did she say Ohio? Ohio, where? Ohio? Ohio and Summer Breeze last name, Ho. Ohio. Ohio? Okay. Ohio.
10% stake yet. It's just something that they're mulling. And if they do so, it's going to be using the funds from the CHIPS Act that previously was going to just be grants to Intel to reimburse them for expenses. This would instead be equity, a stake in the company. So taking a share.
So instead of using the money that they were going to give to Intel to pay America First workers to create these chips, they are taking the money and investing it in the company so that they can get a 15% share in the company. America First, America First, a company that the Japanese, after he took the money that was supposed to be used to have American workers make the chips, and the company fell in flux. He then told him that that he should leave the company, and then Japanese came in and propped him up, and he's going to take the same money that was supposed to give us jobs to get a stake in the company. Why isn't the national media connecting these dots? Okay, I just wanted to connect a few dots about this situation. So let's connect a few more dots. I'll play this one for you next. The person's whose name, there's not a, there's a few very wealthy people who are in Ohio. Let's look at one of these wealthy people. And let's see, why Ghislaine Maxwell could possibly have been talking about rich people in Ohio.
Jemima McAvoy. Jemima, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, I want to extend a big congratulations. You just dropped an explosive investigative piece today on billionaire Les Wexner's second act and how he's quietly reshaping Ohio through the New Albany Company. So before we dive in, can you explain who Les Wexner is?
So Les Wexner is the founder of L Brands, which is a big retail conglomerate that at one point included Abercrombie & Fitch, Victoria's Secret, and Bath & Body Works, and a number of other retail brands. He started it as The Limited in the 1960s. He was born in Ohio. His parents owned a small store there, and he was inspired to start his own retail store, which was The Limited, which he opened in the 1960s, and then he expanded by acquiring Victoria's Secret and a bunch of other brands, and this grew into what was a $30 billion business at its peak. In recent years, it's been on the decline, and so Victoria's Secret has spun off into its own brand, and with that, Les Wexner's public reputation has been on the decline, but he still is the founder of this massive global retail network.
Now, can you tell me what is his connection to anything Epsteinish? Is there any Epsteinish connection with Les Wexner?
Your point from earlier, the story centers in Ohio, where he was born and raised, but he did have a fall from grace back in 2020 when details of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein came to light. Just how
What? He fell from grace behind Epstein?
close were the two?
Yeah, so Les Wexner was immediately thrust into the spotlight after Jeffrey Epstein's suicide in 2019. And the reason for that was Jeffrey Epstein, accumulated a massive net worth. Federal agents estimated it at $500 million. And Les Wexner is...
$500 million in 2020, and that is far from a billionaire that he has also been said to have been, and people have not been able to figure out how did he become a billionaire, and what exactly did this financier that they give him the title of, what did he do, and how did he make his money? And let's keep
kind of credited as the reason why he was able to accumulate this massive portfolio of properties. He was Epstein's main client. Epstein was Les Wexner's money manager for about 2 decades before Les says he cut off contact in 2007. So in the years after Epstein's death, there's been a number of reports about how Epstein used Les Wexner for access to women through Victoria's Secret and money as his client. Also, in the
now we did see 45, 47 and Epstein at a Victoria Secret fashion show, rubbing shoulders and patting arms and all of that. We did see that. So now we got Ohio, we got Lex what is it, Lex whatever his name, Lex Wexner, we have Epstein, we have 45, 47. So why did Ronnie Q, why did you play this Intel clip in between? Ronnie, what does Intel have to do with any of this, Ronnie Q? Let's keep listening.
In the past few years, Les Wexner has been implicated, or he's been accused by some of Epstein's accusers of being either party to or involved in some of the, alleged sex trafficking scheme. So in January...
Lex Wexner? He's been accused of that? Did you know that? Let's continue.
There was documents unsealed from a few years ago in which prominent Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre said that it was a deposition from her saying that she had been trafficked to Wexner on multiple occasions. He's denied this. He's never been charged with any crime, but just his close relationship with Epstein has continued to, cause these.
So, was he deposed about this? Is there any deposition with him about this? Do we know Virginia Godfrey? She committed suicide earlier this year. Once this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing resurfaced, so we will never know by her. But hey, this is her reporting, so I'm just letting you hear this.
Issues and ongoing allegations, and his reputation has never recovered. So he stepped down as the CEO of L Brands and sold off all of his shares in the company, nearly all of his shares in the company, in the years after Epstein's death. So he kind of just
So what is he doing now? That's what we want to know.
disappeared from the public eye after that.
But he's quietly making a resurgence, and that's where your story really begins. In 2021, when the New Albany company began its takeover of Johnstown, Ohio. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the story does center around kind of the second life of Les Wexner, which begins with this deal of Intel arriving in New Albany, Ohio. So Intel
Is arriving in New Albany, Ohio. New Albany, Ohio is where Wexner lives. New Albany, Ohio is where the largest mansion in Ohio is, which is owned by Lex Wexner. New Albany, Ohio is where Jeffrey Epstein had a guest house. Jeffrey Epstein, this financier, I do believe that he flew in and turned himself in from a flight from Ohio in this guest house that who owned the main house? Lex Wexner. That's who owned the main house. Now he's into Intel now he's into Intel, and now our government wants to buy into Intel. Let's continue.
is a huge tech company, and they've been on this big push to build chip facilities so that, semiconductors or computer chips are used in everything from like our cell phones to cars, and they're super important. And there was this huge shortage during the COVID pandemic when the US realized that we were super dependent on, countries in Asia. And that we didn't have our own domestic supply of chips, and that was a problem. So Intel has been investing a lot of money into factories to bolster the US supply. So one of the factories landed in New Albany, Ohio, and that's what got my
Okay, so they have been investing more money. That means more job. That means more job creations. And who helped them do that? Was it the Biden's Chip Act that thrust this money to get chips created in the United States for Intel? Yes, it was.
attention was New Albany is a city that was designed by Wexner in the 1980s and 1990s. So I was like, does he have something to do with this? And from my reporting, it turns out that he does. What I learned was that when Intel was initially looking at Ohio, almost every major U.S. state was competing for this project. It's a $20 billion investment. It's a huge deal for employment and just for the state. And so it's Ohio's biggest ever economic development deal. Every state was competing for it. Why did it land in Ohio? So when Intel was initially looking at Ohio, Ohio officials didn't have a site that worked for it. A computer chip site requires a super specific environmental and geographic requirement.
Yeah, a geographical requirement is a lot of empty land because they have to because the United States chip industry, AI industry, is so far behind China that they need acres and acres of land to cool down their data processors, which costs we're talking $1 billion investments. The something that the Chinese has created it was even reported by the people who are trying to do AI now. What is this name? The one over Chat GP. Sam Altman, I think his name is. He was amazed at China's AI. China created their AI. They don't need any land to cool down any conductors or anything, and they created it for under $6 million, not billions. $1 million, a far more superior AI, even by the tech giants who are ruining our communities, ruining where people live, to make way for data banks to be cooled off. So is Lex Wexner? Let's see what Lex Wexner is doing in Ohio, since so many different states wanted it. What did Lex Wexner do to make it viable in Ohio? Now, I showed you what they're doing in Memphis. I showed you what Elon Musk is doing in Memphis with that Grok AI. I showed you what Zuckerberg is doing in Texas with that Grok AI and all of the poisoning of the water, the well water, all of the poisoning of the air. I told you what they're doing there. So let's see what Lex Wexner is doing, since we say that Intel is there. So obviously Lex Wexner made it possible for Intel to be in Ohio. This billion dollar infrastructure went to Ohio. How?
So Les Wexner stepped in through his New Albany company, which is a development firm, and found the site in 3 days and told Ohio officials, and then a few months later, Intel announced that this site was going to land in New Albany. And it's been a huge deal for Central Ohio. Land prices have been skyrocketing, and
well, he found the site in 3 days. So that he found a site that had enough empty land to do what they wanted to do. Is that what you're saying?
Les Wexner has been buying up thousands of acres across the state and selling them for a lot higher than what he bought them for. So it's just been this huge boon for his development firm.
So the people of Ohio, some of them were being offered to option their land. How much were they offered to get, and what did they know about who was buying this land?
So it all started in the summer of 2021. The Intel deal was announced in January 2022, but the New Albany company started approaching landowners in the summer before, and they all signed NDAs.
It all started in 2021. Who was president in 2021? Biden. Okay.
So none of this was public at the time, but the New Albany company offered landowners a few $1,000s to option their land, so to basically buy the option to purchase their property at a future date, because they didn't know that the Intel deal was going to go through. And then when the deal did go through, a lot of these farmers and a lot of these homeowners who were on land that wasn't all that valuable became millionaires, even multimillionaires. There is one pork farming family that sold their land for $20 million under the Intel site. And we calculated that, over 20 landowners that sold on the construction site made $1 million or more. So people made a lot of money. But in the aftermath...
She's talking about 20 landowners. That's $20 million. That's not a lot of money based upon what he is going to get back from this little measly $20 million.
There's a lot of people that are left in the area who didn't sell their land. They didn't get offers to buy, and now they live near this construction site, and they're finding it very difficult to sell their land. And they kind of feel like they've been left in the lurch.
So talk a little bit about that, what the response has been, because it seems like there are some families that became millionaires. They're probably happy, and I'm assuming the people who are surrounded by construction, maybe not so much.
Exactly. There's kind of two sides to the story. There's all of the people that became pretty wealthy from this deal, and it's a great thing for them. And there's also it's a great thing for the future of Central Ohio. People are super optimistic about what this means. It's supposed to bring 10,000 temporary and full-time jobs to the region, and they're high-paying jobs as well. In the semiconductor industry, which is, slated as an industry of the future. But
Not so much now. 45, 47 has taken that off the table.
On the flip side, there's all these people that were just living in rural central Ohio, enjoying their lives, and they didn't know until President Biden announced on TV in January 2022 that they were going to have this huge computer facility plopped in their backyard. And a lot of these people aren't happy about it. I mean, some of them didn't know what Intel was. They're not sure how they're going to benefit from it. Right now, it's just a big annoyance that's uprooted their lives. So in the short term, there's a lot of people who aren't happy, and it's affected a lot of neighboring communities. They don't see the long-term benefits yet. It isn't clear to them what it's going to benefit them, but it's a story that's going to keep on unfolding.
Okay, so this is in my description box. You notice how in the Elon Musk Grok and the Mike Zuckerberg AI in Texas and now this Intel do you notice how all of these agreements are always pinned without the people who are going to be affected, their neighborhoods, their home, their lives are going to be affected, are never considered. Okay, so you guys have nothing to say about that? Okay, let me move on to my final one. And some of you the link is in my description box. It is under the last, it says Lex. I have 4 videos there. I played this once before. I just happened upon this months and months ago, and I found it compelling. Here it is, right here. The name of this is How.
Are still working.
Hold on. The name of this is How 2 Billionaires Erase a Rural Ohio Town. If you guys remember, I did play this for you, a little part.
Are still working.
I found it fascinating. This is before the Epstein stuff picked back up. New Albany, Ohio. How 2 billionaires erase a rural Ohio town. This is very interesting. I just want to play a little bit of this. I hope you guys find it interesting as well.
Before the 80s, this little farming community had a population of under 500 people. And yeah, people began trickling in from the city to build their dream homes there. But it was still a small community. At least it was a community. That was until a billionaire named Les Wexner moved in. Working with Jeffrey Epstein, he had a plan that none of the residents were aware of. A plan that would cause street after street of people's homes to go abandoned. Some had just moved in when they got a knock on the door. It was quick. It caught people off guard. In just a couple years, his plan to erase the entire rural community was a success. He started out small and had to do things slowly, get certain people out first. But then, the last 3 years, the change was unimaginable. Even 3 years ago, New Albany is completely unrecognizable from what it once was. Most of this change happened all at once in 2022. And looking closer, the pure shock of this destruction becomes apparent. They indiscriminately took every plot of land. Whatever was next, they took too. Up until 2022, you can see new homes were still being built. It was no matter. All families had to vacate. Before we get to today, how was one man able to do all of this?
Now, I know you noticed that some of these are very large, very nice homes that are sitting vacant because of this. Now, let's take a look at these homes. These homes have all been bought up and vacant. People building their last home. Now, this is Lex Wexner's home. This is the billionaire Lex Wexner's home. Where is the guest house? I don't see the guest house. I don't see the guest house. hold on. I will show you the guest house. Okay, so we are looking at. Let's take another look at
being built. It was no matter. All families had to vacate. Before we get to today,
all these families had to vacate.
how was one man able to do all of this? This is Les Wexner, Ohio billionaire and owner of companies such as Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie & Fitch, and Bath & Body Works. At the beginning of the 90s, he moved into his newly built mega mansion in rural New Albany, along with many other families, creating a new life for themselves in a rural landscape. Only he didn't want them there. In fact, he bought up all the smaller homes bordering his house and demolished them. Well, actually, it more bordered Epstein's house. Yes, Jeffrey Epstein. This is the house where you've heard about certain things happening on the news. It was known as the guest house of the Wexner.
There's the guest house of who? The Wexners. The Wexners. So all of this Intel project and all of this money going from the CHIPS Act to access a share in Intel that Wexner is largely responsible for bringing to Ohio, that 47 wants the government, and I wonder who is going to get the proceeds, because they talk about all of this money flowing into our country and how our coffers are filling up, but our actual national debt has not been touched. Who is getting this 15% share in Intel? So, you know what they always tell you, follow the money. Let's continue a little bit more. If you guys are learning something new, I have a goal to teach you something new.
Property. Wexner and Epstein both had a secret plan and a window view of what was to come. Wexner created the New Albany Company. From my understanding, the company, along with other ambiguous LLCs, would buy up an entire block of family farms and then sell it to a corporation for an even bigger profit. Epstein was soon granted power of attorney, as well as president of New Albany Co., and he began to break ground. In the 2000s, the New Albany Business Park was created. The anchor was Abercrombie & Fitch. In the mid-2000s, plans were moving forward again. A highway was proposed. Dozens of homes were bulldozed, when suddenly Epstein left New Albany Company in 2007. He was caught a couple months later in 2008 for prostitution. Wexner took on the project on his own and completed a second industrial park at the newly built highway. This one was more successful than the last, and it would bring in the perfect storm for him to unveil his ultimate plan. It was now the late 2010s, and whether Mr. Wexner knew it or not, he was sitting on one of the biggest investment opportunities in Ohio's history. He had more than a foot in the door. He had 2 business parks already built, and the city was allowing him to do whatever he wanted, so he kept buying up homes and let them sit. Online shopping was booming, and the warehouses did not stop. At the same time, data centers, usually even larger than warehouses, rose to popularity. And by then, there was no stopping the complete erasure of rural New Albany. Facebook built a data center, Google built data centers, even Microsoft was about to hop on. But the biggest of them all was coming. And after 2022, the expansion I saw would be bigger than anything I'd ever seen in my entire life.
If you travel 20 miles east of Columbus, Ohio, you'll find 1,000 empty acres of land. That's where Intel, the American company that helped build Silicon Valley, is going to build a $20 billion semiconductor megasite.
It was only 2022 when the news finally picked up on what was happening to people here over the past couple years. And for them, it was not empty acres of land as described by former President Joe Biden. It wasn't just Intel, a chip manufacturing facility. In all different directions, New Albany Company was buying up homes every single day. Even today, it feels like there's no end in sight, but many of the families who were vocal about the opposition have been bought out. Today, the stark contrast between rural and industrial is obvious. But only a few years ago, nobody knew they would have to abandon their homes. Nobody has been forced to sell, but having a towering industrial park on all sides of your house when you've moved out here for country views a couple years ago is not the better option here. In today's episode, we'll be showing you the abandoned homes of...
Now, yeah, you do know that that's a swimming pool, in-ground swimming pool covered up. Now, these people, the ones who haven't sold, they're pissed because this is the conditions that they're living under, muddied up roads and all construction 24/7.
New Albany, and what it's like to live through all of this. My first stop was going to the street bordering a data center. There sat a very grand mansion with a guest house and a pond. Unbeknownst to me, the satellite images on my phone were outdated and the homes were demolished over a year ago for the Microsoft Corporation. The day I arrived, however, it appears Microsoft has backed out. Maybe the land will be sold to someone else. Bordering that was a neighborhood of mansions, with the last one being built in 2018. It is not in New Albany's plans, and the neighbors I spoke to don't think it'll happen to them. But from what I've seen, it's very possible. Of course, I'd have no way of knowing it's happening besides flying out here again. So if any locals would like to keep me informed, my information is below. The next spot I had predicted would go abandoned was this huge square of homes. Many of these were vacated 2 weeks ago. I'd come at the perfect time, as you can see just how quickly they demolished these houses. Across from that is a neighborhood of 36 large homes. I think about 3 have been purchased by New Albany, but they're all rented out. With time, this entire neighborhood may go too. I wonder when. Not even the people living here know when things will happen, but when it does, they'll be out in about 3 months.
So guys, I just got here and I just talked to one of the guys there. So these people, there's like 3 houses down here. People still live here. It's truly unbelievable. How do you get to your house when the road is being expanded like that? The guy, one of those guys was telling me, either you have the choice, you sell or they'll build around you. I just saw this guy pull into his house. I mean, it's unbelievable how fast this is going. Unbelievable.
Okay, they're gonna go through some of these houses on this video. They basically
This deck too.
Break in and
Wow.
let you see the inside of some of
Well,
these
so here we
houses,
are. This
that are being demolished. They don't allow anyone to go in and save anything to salvage. There is no salvage efforts allowed. They just bulldoze.
This was
all
the
of this
kitchen.
to the ground.
all these materials are so nice. I mean, this whole house is like modern. I cannot believe. We gotta hide. I don't know.
They're not supposed to be there. They're, just trying to get this story.
There's like this part right here. Wow, this would have been cool. We've actually found a way into the huge garage or guest house.
Dude, I think this is a dog shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like 3 dogs here.
Really?
Look at there, it says Premier Pups.
Oh. Wow.
Dog breeder.
Just nothing's wrong with them. Right outside the pool, there's some pretty cool bathrooms.
Yeah. I just wanted to.
We can be the
share,
soonest demolished. I mean, they got a fence around it and everything. Came at just the right time. I actually figured this would be, all these homes would be out of these modern houses for some reason. Appears there's like a couple more things left in here.
I just found something fishy.
Did you really? Probably. Such a new house. This room too. I don't think they're in the house.
We'll keep an eye.
The blinds are all closed on these.
What happens with Intel? I'm just showing you the cost of whatever is happening to Intel.
I don't like the. So I just spoke to the guy over there. These all sold on property records. This one did too.
So I wonder, once the federal government owns 15% of Intel, how is that going to increase the money coming in your pockets? Now this is an old raggedy house right here.
It's like weird. There's like a couple things left behind.
Yeah, that's an old house.
There is a boat.
But hey, shit, it was someone's home. Let me see.
Relatively on.
Guys, if you guys have anything, thank you, Tisa. Thank you for helping me meet my goals. I'm just trying to give you guys some information. So, 1, 2, 3. You learned 3 things, 4 things. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tisa. Okay, just dropping in from the clouds to let you know I support and always watch these replays. Keep bringing the information. We're listening and watching, Ryan Q. I appreciate you. Yeah, because when I heard about when I heard that thing today about the person in Ohio that she was trying to get around and saying that it was a woman and who owns the largest piece of art, and she just couldn't remember that person's name, it reminded me about seeing this video that I had played for you guys months back, even before this was being talked about. If I was younger, I'd buy a town like Schitt's Creek. Sickening. Yeah, so I appreciate you so much, Tisa, for helping me reach my goals. That was so sweet of you. Now, let me, what I'm also hooked on, what I also watch in my spare time, I watch these dog grooming videos. And I also watch I watch these dog grooming videos, and I also watch some of them I cannot watch. I watch these rescue videos. Yeah, there are so many rescue videos that come out of China, and oh my God, some of these dogs, it's you just can't even believe that they are still alive, and they rescue them, take them to the vet, and feed them. Oh my God, it's some dogs. Oh, it's some dogs that are just skin and bones, and we dog lovers like Tisa, go over there and head into a quinceañera. I'll catch the replay. Thank you for dropping by, and go over there and check out Styles with Tisa channel. I love her videos. She has 2 little Shih Tzus, and I tell you, they are so rambunctious. They are so smart. She spends more time teaching her dogs than you see some of these people spend with their children. You got to go over there and check out Styles with Tisa's puppy channel. I most definitely enjoy that channel. Quinceañera. I can't say that word. Look up. Yeah, you guys got to go over there and check her out. Okay, so now Gavin Newsom is standing on business. If you guys don't know that I played for you that they voted on and agreed on that map. Now, what I really want to know is that meeting that they had where they bought up redistricting in Texas. That meeting was to address the poor response to that storm. And all of a sudden, it all became about giving 47 5 more seats that he requested. And you heard nothing else about that storm. So Gavin standing on 10, baby, and I love it. I loved it as well. Let's see a little bit of Gavin Newsom saying, well, hey, I'm going to take it to the people. He had to take it to, they have an independent redistricting board, and he wanted to put it on the ballot to take it to the people. Before he put it on the ballot, the people, he had to get it approved to even be on the ballot. And Republicans are flipping their lids, and it's not fair. And he's not supposed to do that. He has a whole district. Well, he has gone through all of the jumping of hoops of it all, and so it will be on the ballot whether or not they want to suspend the redistricting board until 2030, so they can get past these midterm elections, the next presidential elections, and the midterm elections of 2030. So it is going to be up to the voters to come out on November 4th and vote for it. Now, I know I know we have a Bangladeshi who wants to pretend like they're such an elitist, and then to find out that they're so stupid that they don't vote, while I was sitting up here touting 47 up until he starts rescinding all of the people's rights. And then she's like, just because I was saying things about Trump, that doesn't mean that I supported him. Yes, that's exactly what it means. And you were also trying to garner others to support him. You were trying to get people who are as feeble-brained as you to support someone who has ruined this country, and it is not over. It is not over. So let me share my screen with you on Gavin Newsom. We know that a flicker will not be out there voting at all. Here we go.
They hate even more than fair elections. Gavin Newsom. This is just another day. Yesterday, Texas's Republican-led House approved their new congressional map, and it's now off to the state Senate, then the governor, where it will inevitably be signed into law as the "if you can't beat 'em, cheat 'em" act. And sure, Democrats could do what they always do and write some angry letters or make some stern phone calls, or they could do this.
I'm eager to sign a bill that no other governor in U.S. history has ever signed, a bill that will put the maps in front of the voters. We will be the first state in U.S. history to, in the most democratic way, submit to the people of our state the ability to determine their own maps.
This is historic, and because it's happening in California, I look forward to the 4-part Netflix doc series that'll somehow be out tomorrow morning. But what's clear, besides the fact that Newsom is standing up and fighting back against the party trying their best to rig elections, is that he is also really getting under their skin.
What the Democrats have done is disgraceful and potentially illegal. I'll tell you this much. If California dares to try to squeeze out more Republicans, there are going to be lawsuits that will overturn that. What I can tell you in the state of Texas, the 5 Republican seats that we are adding, they are going to withstand legal challenges, and those will...
The absolute audacity of Greg Abbott the absolute balls. So you see, he has countered them, and they're nervous now. After Gavin Newsom signed that bill, 4547 has come out and said that he want all the red states to get him 100 seats. Now, JD Vance has already visited weak racist ass Indiana. Florida has already said that they are on board redistricting. JD Vance also said that he wanted Ohio, I believe it was South Carolina, Indiana. Florida already just offered itself up like a fucking drunk whore to do it on their own. So we do understand that they are more red states than blue states, but I need these blue states, while they are saying that they support what is going on, I need them to get to work and actually do the same thing Gavin Newsom is doing. I do believe that, if I'm not wrong, I do believe that New York also has a independent board. They need to get in line and make sure they protect these seats. The seats that are in jeopardy in Texas is Al Green, who stood up and was censured because he stood up during that. It wasn't a during that address that 4547 did. His seat is in jeopardy, as well as Jasmine Crockett's seat is in jeopardy, and one more person. These seats are in jeopardy. So these are not the state congressmen. These are not. These are the actual Washington D.C. Congress seats that are in jeopardy that he needs. Sloppy pussy dumb hoes in Florida. So let the lawsuit comes. They let the lawsuit come. What are they gonna sue about? Him standing on business and doing business the way business is supposed to do. Now, Greg Abbott, you still ain't talking about the lawsuits that gonna be coming for your state for this half-ass response to children being washed away in floods because y'all took the money that Joe Biden gave y'all, and people were like, you better not spend that money, you better give the money back, and you acted as if you didn't accept the money, but you took the money and spent it on things that was not that it was not intended to be spent on. He sent money so you guys, it was emergency emergency money for any emergencies that came up. Now, you guys had talked about even putting horns in there, and you let one man tell you that he didn't think that the people would want to spend that amount of money for a siren system. Let that sink in. But they retired some cop, bought some more things for the police force. I think they bought a fire truck or some shit or something. They spent the money that it because now their voting population also have to stand on business because you had a person after person. I showed you this. They said that if they spent that money that Biden sent them, it would be they would throw them out of office, all of this type of stuff. It would be like taking money from the devil, all of this type of stuff. When a Democratic president was trying to shore up your safety, and they took the money anyway. So all of that, if you take this Democrats' money, they took it anyway. But they didn't use it for what it was supposed to be used for. So where are all of those mad people now? So listen, you didn't did your bidding. You didn't crawled on your belly for 4547. Now tell us about this emergency response that didn't happen. in this heavily 45-47 district. Talk about that, Abbott. Okay. Okay, so let's continue.
Will be Republican members added to the United States Congress.
Yes, what the Democrats are doing by replicating what Texas Republicans have done is disgraceful. How dare they mimic our every move? If Greg Abbott was any less self-aware, he wouldn't be able to see his reflection in the mirror. Any other Texans want to weigh in here?
Gavin Newsom is very good at being slick. He's very good at running away from the facts and running away from the record.
Gavin Newsom is good at running away from things, you say? Ted, you literally got busted running away to Cancun when your home state was freezing over. Got any other brilliant criticisms that you'd like to lodge?
Yet Gavin Newsom and the rest of the Democrat Party, they exist for one purpose right now: to hate Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's actually not true. Democrats want affordable and accessible health care for all. We want to defend women's access to abortion and reproductive rights. We want to promote the use of clean energy and reduce our carbon footprint. We want to see an end to systemic racism and put real rules in place to combat all forms of discrimination based on race, gender, sexuality, and religion. We want real immigration reform done in a humane way. We want a ban on assault weapons. We want universal background checks. We want an increase in funding for our public schools, and we want to make it easier for people to vote in this country. But since this guy's entire agenda is focused on doing the opposite.
And let's be clear, the Democrats had previously put up a bill to dismantle partisanship, gerrymandering of districts. All the Democrats voted yes on it, and all of the Republicans voted no, because see, they used that in their arsenal to cheat the voters out of elections, and people are not concerned about this. The easiest retort to this is you had a chance to never have this happen, but you guys voted against it because you guys use it for yourselves, and now they want to be mad. They actually had a vote on this, and every Republican voted no to stop the gerrymandering of districts. So since you want to play with it, let's play.
While exploiting his office as a means to garner billions of dollars for himself and his family, I could see how one might interpret that all Democrats do is hate Trump. And frankly, by their lack of self-awareness.
By the way, congratulations to you, Governor Abbott, and the Republicans in Texas on that redistricting fight that you won today. Congratulations.
By the way, congratulations on doing the thing that we just spent the entire segment attacking Democrats for doing in response. But it wasn't just. Oh, there are others.
California has a constitution, and we now have a governor that wants to change the constitution for his own political belief. We have a governor who spends more time on this instead of trying to encourage Bed Bath & Beyond to move back to California.
Yes, how dare Gavin Newsom spend more time trying to protect
How dare Gavin Newsom try to ensure that the right just can't gerrymander their seats anytime 45-47 tells them to, and instead of getting Bed Bath & Beyond back in California. Bed Bath & Beyond? Are you fucking kidding me? Who shops at Bed Bath & Beyond? I got a comforter set years ago from Bed Bath & Beyond, and the first time I washed it, I thought that I was taking something different out of the washer. Like, surely, I didn't buy anything white. All of the color had faded out of that cheap fabric that they use for those comforter sets at Bed Bath & Beyond, and ever since then, I was in my fucking 20s. I was done with Bed Bath & Beyond. Do you wonder why Bed Bath & Beyond went out of business? Bed Bath & Beyond is trash. And now we find out that Lex Wexner was the owner of Bed Bath & Beyond, and we see why it was trash. Let's continue. This motherfucker is sitting up here talking about Bed Bath & Beyond when he knows that 45-47 caused an insurrection, and now he lost his fucking seat. Was sitting up there being heckled by Matt Gaetz, someone who had to leave, who resigned from the what was he, a senator? He resigned from Congress and because he he was nominated to be over the DOJ, and then when all of the underage people who he was screwing, and he totally left Congress, was heckling your ass, and you didn't even say anything to him. You're a fucking pussy, bitch. Get off the stage. I'm enraged, motherfucker.
Integrity and our democracy than on getting Walmart's step-cousin back into his state. That is the most bankrupt argument I've ever heard. And I say that because what's stopping Bed Bath & Beyond from opening back up in California is not the governor. It's that in 2023, they literally filed for bankruptcy. McCarthy, you're pointing to the wrong reason that things aren't going your way. It's like Stephen Miller saying that he can't pick up any women at the bar because they don't like the color of his suit. It ain't the suit. It's the hair, it's the general demeanor, it's the fact that he has a visceral hatred of immigrants, black people, trans people, and pretty much anybody who isn't in favor of a white Christian ethno-state, and he wakes up every day with the singular goal of restoring our nation to its most racist and bigoted roots before heading back to his bedroom inside the seventh circle of hell to feed on the blood of Labrador puppies so that he can conjure up enough life force to see another day.
My Jesus.
Oh, and the odor. Fuck. 2 seconds and talk about it.
This idea that Gavin Newsom is somehow going to mimic Donald Trump's style, I think that ignores the fundamental genius of President Trump's political success, which is that he's authentic. He just is who he is. You've got to be yourself. You've actually got to talk to people honestly about the issues. I don't think it's that complicated.
And the award for a person who doesn't get it goes to the guyo from Ohio who made our Pope Dio, J.D. Vance. Congratulations on completely missing the fact that this is Gavin Newsom speaking to people about the issues. Because every time you or anyone else criticizes the tone or style of his childish tweets, you are dunking on dear leader. But why are we...
And so they are saying that Gavin Newsom trolling Trump and tweeting like him is childish. And they don't understand that he is absolutely communicating like their dear leader, as Brian Tyler Cohen says. And they have never figured out that everything that he talks about, all the lies that he tells, all the fucking ranting that he did tweets out on live social is childish. I digress. Let me see. The link is in my description box. We're at the top of the description box. Go over and check out Brian Tyler Cohen.
Completely unbiased way on some nonpartisan, completely unbiased news network?
What effectively has been true is that Republicans, unfortunately, for too long have unilaterally disarmed, allowing Democrats to basically monopolize congressional districts using gerrymandering, while Republicans played nice.
This is you guys playing.
Chip Roy of Texas. I believe he is of San Antonio, Texas as well. Who better to lie than someone from San Antonio, Texas? And I would like to alert you that Chip Roy is also thinking about, he's a senator. I think Chip Roy is a senator. He's also thinking about running for governor of Texas. Prepare yourself.
Playing nice? By spending dollars into getting voter ID laws passed so it would be harder for playing nice? By spending countless years and pouring millions of dollars into getting voter ID laws passed so it would be harder for people to vote? That's playing nice? Is that why Republicans have gerrymandered North Carolina and Florida and Wisconsin and Texas and Utah and Ohio and South Carolina because they were playing nice? Is that why all those people stormed the U.S. Capitol to desperately tell their elected officials how nice they were being? And just to put a bow on this, let's not forget that when Ted Cruz comes out and says that he's got a problem with the morality of gerrymandering, Ted Cruz himself voted against H.R. 1, which included a provision banning partisan gerrymandering. When California...
And the H.R. 1, that's what the bill was, to eliminate partisan gerrymandering. All Republicans voted that they wanted to keep that up, and all Democrats voted yes on that, while all Republicans, all of them, voted no. But he has, what did he say? he has if California gerrymandering from its current 43-9 Dems advantage, 83% to the 51% Dems advantage, 100%, then Texas should go from a 24-14 GOP advantage, a 63% to a 38%. Girl.
Rep. Doug LaMalfa comes out and says he's got a problem with the morality of gerrymandering. Let's not forget that LaMalfa himself also voted against H.R. 1, which included a provision banning partisan gerrymandering. When California Rep. Tom McClintock whines about gerrymandering, let's not forget that McClintock himself also voted against H.R. 1, which included a provision banning partisan gerrymandering. When Republican Rep. Jay Obernolte complains about gerrymandering, let's not forget that Obernolte himself also voted against H.R. 1, which included a provision banning partisan gerrymandering. In fact, as it relates to H.R. 1, which would have stopped all of this redistricting chaos in its tracks, how many of these newfound champions for democracy do you think voted for it? And you don't have to think too hard.
And in fact, when Democrats had a majority in Congress, they voted to ban gerrymandering in every state, red states and blue states. Do you know how many Republican members of Congress joined them in that effort?
Which one? I'm sorry. Which state did you just refer to?
I'm asking, do you know how many?
Which one? Which state did you refer to? Now you can't hear. Now you are deaf. Now you deaf. Hey, Ebony Diamond. Thank you for being here. Keep going, Gavin. Let America see what they voted for again. I love it. Look at this fool. Which one? Which state did you say? He didn't say any states. He said all of them. Okay. Let me reshare. Oh, it's sharing. Here we go.
Many Republicans joined Democrats in the U.S. Congress to ban gerrymandering. All the Democrats voted for it. 0 Republicans joined the majority in Congress.
In its found champions for democracy.
Let's hear
for
that
it
one more time.
And
Democrats had a majority in Congress. They voted to ban gerrymandering in every state, red states and blue states.
Now, it is really telling that the Democrats didn't even have to put this up for a vote. When Democrats had the majority, they still put this up for a vote. And what happened?
Do you know how many Republican members of Congress joined them in that effort?
Which one? I'm sorry. Which state did you just refer to?
I'm asking, do you know how many Republicans joined Democrats in the U.S. Congress to ban gerrymandering? All the Democrats voted for it. 0 Republicans voted for it.
Yeah, there's something about 0 votes that just kind of undercuts the whole playing nice theory. Look.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you that about Gavin Newsom standing on business, and they are mad about it, crying and whining and lying about it. So let's go on. Let me go on to, I think we'll go here. FBI are searching what is it? John Bolton's house and office. Why are they searching his office and house? They are saying that John Bolton actually has some classified information that he put out in his book, but in essence, they are searching John Bolton. If you don't remember, I showed you the FBI, the current FBI directors list of people in the deep state and list of enemies. John Bolton was one of them, and John Bolton has been unabashedly saying all of the things that he feel that this administration that has done that has been against the law. So let me share this with you.
In Washington, where we are following multiple breaking news stories, beginning with the FBI searching the home of former top Trump national security advisor turned vocal Trump critic John Bolton. The FBI entered Ambassador Bolton's Maryland home early this morning as part of what a source familiar with the matter calls a national security investigation related to the handling of classified materials and the use of classified documents and leaks to the news media. That search extended to Bolton's office in downtown Washington, where agents were seen leaving with boxes. The FBI describing both scenes as, quote, court-authorized activity, meaning a judge likely signed off on the searches. Ambassador Bolton was seen returning to his home this afternoon. A source close to him believes the raid was in response to his frequent criticism of the Trump administration, including in his book, The Room Where It Happened. It's retribution, pure and simple, the source said. Earlier today, I sat down exclusively with Vice President J.D. Vance, who denied the investigation was politically motivated, offering the administration's most extensive comments yet about the incident. Take a listen. I do want to start with some breaking news. We've learned that the FBI is searching the home of former Ambassador John Bolton, his office as well.
Sure.
Can you tell me, why is the FBI raiding Ambassador Bolton's home and office, and did the White House get a heads up?
Well, so we're in the very early stages of an ongoing investigation into John Bolton. I will say we're going to let that investigation proceed. What I can tell you is that unlike the Biden DOJ and the Biden FBI, our law enforcement agencies are going to be driven by law and not by politics. And so if we think that Ambassador Bolton has committed a crime, of course, eventually prosecutions will come. But as you know, Kristen, this is all part of gathering evidence, trying to understand something that we're worried about. And of course, I'll let the FBI comment on the next stage of the investigation.
You know, I really cannot stand this person. I do not know why they take him seriously. Listen, if this person is at the top of the Republican ticket, we are doomed. He may not. He's already at the top of the Republican ticket because it seems like 47 is about to kick it, as in kick the bucket pretty soon. So let's understand. This man himself called himself a never Trumper. He said that Trump didn't deserve to be in office, and that he he was a fascist or something to that. And now he's this man's vice president, holding the line for all of the lies. Because Peter Thiel is financing him and telling him. And I also showed you how this man is getting rich in the process as well. I also showed you all the businesses that he has been propped up on. I also, yesterday, I showed you, what was that yesterday? About, there was a lawsuit that he filed. And, what was the lawsuit? It was a lawsuit. I'll think about it as we listen to this. And then he pulled himself off of it because it got too embarrassing.
Investigation.
What's at the root of this? Is this about classified documents?
Well, again, I'll let the FBI speak to that. Classified documents are certainly part of it, but I think that there's a broad concern about Ambassador Bolton. They're going to look into it. And like I said, if there's no crime here, we're not going to prosecute it. If there is a crime here, of course, Ambassador Bolton will get his day in court. That's how it should be. But again, our focus here is on, did he break the law? Did he commit crimes against the American people? If so, then he deserves to be prosecuted.
As we have this conversation, has Ambassador Bolton been detained, taken into custody, arrested in any form?
So this news just broke this morning, and the FBI, I haven't talked to the FBI this morning. I don't know the answer to that question. I assume that he hasn't been detained and won't be detained until there's a prosecution, if that actually happens.
As you know, Ambassador Bolton is a frequent critic of President Trump's. He's also on Kash Patel's enemies list. The administration has already revoked his security clearance, Secret Service protection. Is Ambassador Bolton being targeted because he's a critic of President Trump?
No, not at all.
Okay, so you see that they let me make sure my mic is on. You see that they withdrew his security detail, and John Bolton was instrumental in them making that strike. I think it was on a Iranian, the head of Iran. Who was this guy? The head of the Iranian government. So they definitely have John Bolton in their sights, but they just snatch his security detail. Now, you know that after some people get out of office, they are still allowed security details because of the things that they have been involved with in the administration that has been approved. Some of the things that have been approved by the administration. That strike in that strike is one of the things. What is it? The strike was it. I think this they struck him actually in Libya, but it was one of the heads of the Iranian government, so to say. So I think they struck him in Libya. Nonetheless, they took his security details, and now 4547 is mad at the amount of money that Beer Keg Seth is spending on his own security detail, because let's understand that he has two ex-wives who he has is using our government money to watch over his ex-wives and family members in Tennessee and some other state, as in addition to the detail that is watching over him. But we cannot watch over people who did the bidding of the government and put themselves in harm's way. But we can watch over the women that Hegseth had fucked over. Are we clear? Let me continue.
And in fact, if we were trying to do that, we would just throw out prosecutions willy-nilly like the Biden administration DOJ did, prosecutions that later got thrown out in court. If we bring a case, and of course we haven't done that yet, the Department of Justice has not done that yet. We are investigating Ambassador Bolton, but if they ultimately bring a case, it will be because they determine that he has broken the law. We're going to be careful about that. We're going to be deliberate about that, because we don't think that we should throw people, even if they disagree with us politically, maybe especially if they disagree with us politically. You shouldn't throw people willy-nilly in prison. You should let the law drive these determinations, and that's what we're doing.
But you know, a lot of people have already looked at this and said, this looks a lot like retribution. Is this retribution?
Well, who has said it looks a lot like retribution, Kristen? A lot of people who tried to throw Donald Trump in prison for completely fake charges that were later thrown out by multiple different courts. I suspect that if the media and the American people let this case actually unfold, if they let the investigation unfold as it's currently doing, they're going to find out that what we're doing is being very deliberate and being very driven by the national interest and by the law here, and that's as it should be.
And you can catch much more of my exclusive interview with the vice president on Meet the Press this Sunday. President Trump was asked by reporters this afternoon about Vance's comments to me, and the president said he hadn't been briefed by Attorney General Pam Bondi. Look.
Oh, so we are to believe that 4547 knows nothing about the raid on the house, as they continue to say, oh, they raided Melania's underwear drawer. They raided Melania's underwear drawer. When did they raid Melania's underwear drawer? When they continually ask him to bring back the classified information that he was storing in one of his gaudy bathrooms and on a public stage in his ballroom, and he refused to give it back, going up into the limits to say that he had declassified it, and there was no declassification paperwork done on anything. And he said, what did he say to that? He said he can declassify it with his mind. I can just say in my mind it's declassified, and therefore it is. He didn't know anything about Bolton, there being a raid on Bolton. Now, they had to take this to some of these judges. But now, all of a sudden, they got to follow what the judge say. But when the judge ruled against them, there are activist judges and far-right leaning judges and all of this. The judges are bad only when they don't give an order in their favor.
Well, I haven't spoken to Pam in the group yet, but I will be. I saw that just like everybody else. I try and stay out of that stuff. I'm allowed to be, and I'm chief law enforcement officer, believe it or not. You know, I don't like to go around saying that, but I am. That's the position. But I purposely.
So you want to remind us that you are the #1 law enforcement officer, and at the same time, you want us to believe that you were not knowledgeable that the DOJ was raiding not Epstein's, John Bolton's house and office. The fuck out of my face. So I wanted to share that with you. There is something else I want to share with you as well. Look at this photo. Okay, let me share this with you guys. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. A judge has ruled, one of these pesky judges have ruled that Alligator Alcatraz ICE prison must be shut down in 60 days, and they cannot bring any more people into Alligator Alcatraz. So this is something new. So let's hear
A federal judge on Thursday barred the DeSantis and Trump administration from bringing new detainees to Alligator Alcatraz and demanded the state close out operations at the immigration detention facility within 60 days. What's really incredible about this, and again, you know, it's a victory now, but it will be appealed, is this was pretty much a torture prison out in the open with the Trump administration and the Republican Party hawking merchandise. Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup.
This is Ashley with Status Coup.
On the ground.
In Philadelphia.
Incredible breaking news for once in this Trump 2.0 hellscape. At almost 10 o'clock at night here, a federal judge has ordered the Trump Gestapo ICE prison, known as Alligator Alcatraz, to be shut down in 60 days. And
Why?
as of now, no new prisoners can be shipped in. This is incredible news. I am sure the Trump administration, as well as Florida Governor DeSantis's administration, will appeal this. But as of right now, a judge has halted new prisoners being shipped there, new construction, and called for this Gestapo prison that many have called a concentration camp to be shut down. Before I give you the details, I want to be clear. There is no other outlet, mainstream or independent, that has covered and investigated and dug on Alligator Alcatraz more than Status Coup. We have been on the ground there multiple times at great resources to us, at great expense to us, and we stayed on it after we left. So please, please support us if you can, so we can continue doing this important, super vital, on-the-ground investigative journalism. And thank you to our paying members who helped us go there and have helped us stay on it. Let me show you the details here. This is from the Miami Herald. Credit to them as well. They've done great reporting on Alligator Alcatraz. Obviously, they're down there. Judge orders Alligator Alcatraz shut down in 60 days, says no more new detainees. A federal judge on Thursday barred the DeSantis and Trump administration from bringing new detainees to Alligator Alcatraz and demanded the state close out operations at the immigration detention facility within 60 days. I don't even call it a detention facility. It is a prison where people are being held without due process. U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams, in her 82-page ruling, prohibited the state and federal government from bringing additional detainees to the detention center, which has drawn mass protests. She also stopped any expansion of the detention facility, including adding industrial lighting or erecting any new buildings such as tents or dormitories. Through her order, though her order does not.
Now, you know that they were actively constructing more tents. I can't say that they were building anything. They were putting up more tents to add to Alligator Alcatraz. And in addition, they are looking to open over 1,000 detention centers all across America, funding for-profit prisoners, or if this is all for-profit to whatever big rich person has the capacity to make this happen. I don't know why they need 1,000 more, but we will figure it out when they start filling up these 1,000 more, as they are flying these undocumented immigrants out, as a lot of undocumented immigrants have self-deported. So why do they need 1,000 more detention centers? Keep around and find out, because we going to find out. Let's continue.
Prohibit the state from making repairs to the site. The most striking aspect of the order is her demand that the state begin removing all generators, gas, sewage, and other waste items that have transformed the airstrip into a detention center within 60 days, rendering the site uninhabitable. Williams said she expects attrition to make the stripping of the site safe. Williams' order, a temporary injunction that will hold as the case continues to be litigated, comes in a lawsuit filed by environmental groups and the Miccosukee tribe, I always mispronounce it, apologies, arguing that the state and federal governments cut important corners when erecting the site in a matter of days. That would be 8 days to be exact. And cutting corners like, I don't know, permits, I don't know, doing an environmental impact study, which by law you have to do, particularly in the Everglades, which is home to some of the most endangered species, pristine waters, aquifers, among many, many important environmental needs, as well as the wildlife. What's really, really incredible about this, and again, you know, it's a victory now, but it will be appealed, is this was pretty much a torture prison out in the open, with the Trump administration and the Republican Party hawking merchandise, alligator hats, alligator beer koozies, literally like MAGA families on vacation pulling over to take selfies in front of the alligator Alcatraz sign. As human beings, undocumented or not, most of whom did not have criminal charges or any criminal history against them, literally were being left inside tents that were flooding, which created mold, were being deprived of medication, were passing out and being left sprawling unconscious on the ground in the prison for as much as a half hour. We broke that story a week or two ago. We got the audio of a prisoner recounting that story, was being left to be eaten alive by mosquitoes during the day while they sleep. A lot of these mosquitoes carry disease. We're being deprived water. We're being deprived adequate food. It was scalding heat inside. I mean, the list goes on. This was a torture prison.
Let's not forget the people who were handcuffed, and plates of foods were put in front of them, and they were looking around like, how are we going to eat? And they told them to bend over and eat like a dog. Okay, so that is in my description box. There are a couple of more things that I want to share with you while I have you here, or while you are watching. Some things that you may not have heard about. I did talk about the Texas flood families who have been ignored while they gerrymander these maps. But let's hear from some of these families.
His bidding in Texas, as the king sits there and tells all of his minions in the Republican Party to do his bidding. In Texas, they finally got their bidding done.
House Republicans just passed their severely gerrymandered congressional map, the request of Donald Trump. The vote was 88 to 52. All 88 yes votes came from Republicans, all 52 no votes from Democrats. The map creates 5 new GOP-leaning districts before next year's crucial midterm elections. Let's be clear, this is a ploy to retain power, nothing more, as Americans sour on Trump's MAGA agenda.
The underlying goal of this plan is straightforward: improve Republican political performance. Each of these newly drawn.
Okay, so he said it for you right there. He didn't say because there's not enough representation. It is to improve Republicans' political performance. That's is the only reason that they did this off-year redistricting in Texas when the map that they are already districted under is in court for it being against the Voting Rights Act, that different people should be able to vote in their representative. So the map they're in is already in court. But then when 4547 said, I need 5 more seats, they are re-gerrymandering a map that is already in the courts. So let's be clear. And he was clear. So let's move on. Let me see what else.
Districts now trend Republican in political performance. Districts now trend Republican. Improve Republican political performance. Each of these newly drawn districts now trend Republican in political performance. While there's no guarantee of an electorate success, Republicans will now have an opportunity to potentially win these districts.
So that's State Representative Todd.
So what he's saying is we're going to take these districts back that represent a black constituent, and we're going to put them in more Democrat constituents, and we're going to put them in more Republican areas. That's what we're going to do, and we're not going to allow these constituents in mostly of these black areas to have representation of someone who's going to come in and actually address the causes that they have in their actual community, because we're going to split these communities up and act like this one big black community solidified all the way around. We're not going to give you the opportunity to vote for someone who has your interests at heart. We're going to split this community into 3, 5, 7 districts, and no one is going to hear your fucking going to represent you and what you need in your community, because we're not even recognizing you as a community. And the Voting Rights Act has what is it? The Voting Rights Act has an amendment in it too that they are trying to take out. They're really trying to get rid of the Voting Rights Act in its entirety. And let's be clear why the Voting Rights Act was passed, because they were having black people who, you know, were freed in the 1800s. Let Candace, what's her name? Candace, what is that girl? Candace Owens tell you the white men free blacks in the 1800s, and we have the white man to thank for that, as she ignored Jim Crow, as she ignored blacks having to fight to even be allowed to vote. And even after they were finally allowed to vote, they had to go through poll tests to guess how many jelly beans were in the jar, state the Constitution without making mistakes, all of this type of stuff. That's why the Voting Rights Act was enacted, and it is being dismantled. That's all I'm going to say.
Down in Texas, who was a part of these Republicans that just passed this extraordinarily gerrymandered map that they've been fighting with Democrats who left the state for a week or two, now finally got done. And he ignoring that they have ignored and that they apparently continue to want to ignore. I feel like their performance is also why so many of their wives are very upset with them. But still, they want now the opportunity to win some seats. While he's doing that, there's real life situations that they're ignoring, that they have ignored, and that they apparently continue to want to ignore.
We are the parents of Seal Stewart, the only camper from Camp Mystic still missing. For Seal, camp meant adventure, memories, friendships, and lessons to carry for a lifetime. For me, it meant watching my child grow and learn, but always under the assurance that she would be safe. But that assurance was betrayed. Obvious common sense safety measures were absent. Protocols that should have been in place were ignored. As a result, my daughter was stolen from us. Lila was special. She was beautiful. She was pure. She was so kind. The most gentle little girl who fiercely loved her little sisters and all of her friends. A friend who preferred to shine her light on the people around her. A light she lit inside of me when she made me a mom.
Those are the parents of some of the victims of that flooding that took the lives of 27 people at Camp Mystic, where all those little girls were and where their counselors were, and then the runners of those camps were all victims. And they got a chance to talk about the things that they want to change. In the state of Texas, that same state where these Republicans just gerrymandered maps because they know that they don't give a damn about these folks that they're supposed to represent, as they stripped before this, stripped any kind of warning systems, funding that goes to making sure flooding victims have a chance, all the stuff that they don't care about because they're funneling money to the pockets of the billionaires that pay them and following the orders of Donald Trump. Real lives are lost. Children's lives are lost. So, I mean, I remember before when this administration was stepping in and I was saying, how about we stop acting like anything is normal about them? People's lives will be lost. They said, it doesn't matter. It's not going to happen. We just have to wait for the midterms. Tell these people who've lost their children how much longer they should wait as they're heartbroken.
Hadley, Harper, and all the campers should have woken up on July 4th and celebrated the holiday with their new friends. Instead, Hadley was pulled out of a window of her twins' 2 cabin after it had filled with water. Less than 10 feet away were stairs to an upstairs apartment. That higher ground could have saved her life and the 5 girls in her cabin that also passed away. Hadley wasn't the strongest swimmer, not that it mattered in those waters, but she was strong, so strong. I thought if she could hold on to something, she would be okay. Instead, she and 2 other little girls were knocked out of a tree and died. In total, 5 of the 12 girls from her cabin also died. Our precious, hilarious, kind, caring, silly, loving little girl who always wanted to help others died because there was no plan, because there was no backup system or sirens. Before Hadley left for camp, she was worried about being away from me for a month. You see, she may have her dad's personality, but she was my mini-me and my best friend. I promised her she would be safe and okay. I told her camp was the safest place she could be, and she would make new friends and learn new things. I lied to her. She not only wasn't safe, she died. We sat around for 16 hours praying, hoping, pacing, getting prank phone calls and texts from people saying they had her, for her only to be found down the road, alone. The overwhelming lack of prevention, detection, training, and response in this situation is mind-boggling, and is what we are asking SB1 to address. This is not the first flood, and it certainly won't be the last.
There's real lives connected to this. There's real lives of people who are supposed to get something for their tax dollars that they pay, and not to go to the people who pay our representatives to give them more of it and strip away National Weather Service warnings, alarm system warnings, and general approaches to the way businesses have destroyed our environment, which have caused these storms to get even more intense, and a lack of infrastructure for the way that things break down and the floodwaters spew into all kinds of areas. They don't care. You know why? Because State Representative Todd Hunter needs some more Republican opportunities for political performance. When people's children are dying, 8, 10, 12-year-olds, off to camp for the first time. If you have children, I mean, when you hear someone talk about how their child was afraid to go to camp, and you said, I promise you're going to be safe and you'll come back, and then it makes you wonder, what was the last thing she was thinking?
It makes you wonder. Unfortunately, I'm sure that mother feels a lot of guilt. And I think that woman would never be the same, assuring her child that she would be safe and she would have fun as her daughter was ravaged by that water and died. What mother wants to deal with this, assuring your child that you are doing the best for them to let them have fun and that they will be safe? So this link is also in my description box. Go check it out. Now, let me show you this. It seems like all of the crime in DC is over. I want to share this with you. I don't know why they have all these tanks there. I think it's Barry Dollamore. I think it's his name. He's there, and he doesn't see the crime. let me let me see. Where is this? I'm lucky I made it. I'm lucky I made it out alive. This is Dolomore. I use this I use his link a lot. Go over there and check him out. He's in DC, and he lives in DC. He broadcasts from DC, and he wants to show you the crime that is surrounding him in DC that he talked about, but he decided to go outside and show you how the crime rates in DC are so rampant that we need the National Guard out there.
Oh my God, you guys. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm in so much danger in the United States Capitol. Oh, it's a crime-ridden hellhole. Look how horrible this place is. Oh, beautiful fountains and flowers, and oh, what are we gonna do? Thank you, Donald Trump, for saving us from all of the terrible crime. The only crime was here on January 6, 2021, when Donald Trump incited an insurrection against the country, attempting to overthrow the United States government in order to stay in power for another term that he wasn't elected for. Oh my God, you guys. I'm so glad that you're...
Okay, so now 4547 made his cankles out of the White House for another, what in the world? For another photo blitz, for another chance to be in front of the... Hold on, I apologize. Hold on. Hold on. I apologize. I just got an important text. Okay. Okay. Hey, Renee. I bet they now wish that they would have let their kids go to the camp down the way with the black kids, and that had camp counselors who stopped camp and went home. All kids are alive. Okay, so I didn't even hear about that camp. So you mean they stopped they sent the kids home under the threat, and all these kids survived? I didn't hear about that. Thank you for telling me about that, Renee. So they pushed all of this aside to ignore and not talk about the dismal flood response that FEMA did, not giving rapid response manpower to them for over 72 hours, 3 days. Okay. So okay, so yes, ma'am, they are not talking about that. They are not talking about that. This is the first time that I heard about that. The first time that I heard anything about that. I will research that. I will pull that. I will pull that up tomorrow. Now 4547 came out for a photo op to show his appreciation to the troops. Here is I want to share this with you. Now, he decided that he needed to show his appreciation to the troops. Hey, QI, Ronnie Q, I was thinking about the video you showed of the whites only towns. Maybe it's a good thing, because do we really want to be around hateful people? No, I don't want to be around hateful people, but you know, these hateful people have a history of not being able to contain themselves, and I do have some videos about that. these hateful people sometimes can't contain themselves even when we're not around, so they go searching us out. Okay, so this is the cost of the D.C. National Guard deployment: $424,000 a day. Cost to operate public housing for D.C.'s entire homeless population would cost $169. $226 a day. It's not about what this country can or can't afford. So when watching this, understand that they are also offering ICE agent a $50,000 sign-on bonus and forgiving up to $60,000 in student debt for ICE. So here is someone who is making money hand over fist off of his presidency. He decides to show his gratitude for the people who are out here from the military, putting their lives on the line because it's such an emergency, and these people, I have nothing more to do than stand around. See, if you really appreciate people, you show people how much you really appreciate them. Maybe his appreciation is, equal to their actual need in the streets, their actual work that they're doing in the street. But you want to come out here and show us you appreciate them, so you're giving them a little snack. So if you appreciate somebody who is going on an emergency, coming to address your emergency crime call, and you want to show them that you appreciate them, what would you feed them? Do you guys have any idea of what you would feed somebody who is coming to help you? Yes, he is. That's exactly what he's doing. I'm going to tell you, since no one's answering, I won't belabor this any longer. I'll show you what he is feeding these and showing his appreciation.
Thank you all. President, I'm looking at all these faces. They're out here every single night. I'm getting to know.
Now that's Pam Bimbo lying and saying she's getting to know all of these people by name. And who does she name off of the people at the top of the top brass in these different departments, as if she's getting to know these people by names. Let's thank God this head is covering her bleached blonde, bad body built ass. Okay, so let's
Single night. I'm getting to know everyone on a first name basis. All of our great Metro PD, General Blanchard with the Guard, all of our federal.
General Blanchard with the Guard. So that sounds like he's a general. She's getting to know all of our people in Metro PD, and she names out General Blanchard by name. What's the lady, the black lady next to you? Name someone else, can you? Can you name someone else? Can you name? And look who's standing next to him. What is his name? The sons who are in business with 4547's son. His son is in the crypto business with them, making money hand over fist. This is who is making all the money, doing all the motherfucking, doing all the for-profit shit in this administration, getting rich off of this administration, as he tells you that there is a crime emergency in D.C. and he needs to bring out the National Guard, and to show his thanks, he's going to feed them tonight. What is he feeding them?
Agencies are out here, our amazing park police. They are working hand in hand to make D.C. safe. They're out here working midnights every night because they love our country, they love our city, and they love you. They're all telling me that. Are we going to get to meet look at them getting a thumbs up. They're all out here going, are we going to meet the president? I told you. So, and I think you brought some food for him, didn't you, President?
So we have great hamburgers cooked by the White House, and we have pizza that I said don't do it in the White House because we went to a place that makes the best pizza. So we'll concede, but we have a lot of it. So we're going to have some fun. We'll eat, and I'll eat with you, and we're going to have a little fun. We're going to celebrate, but then we're going to get back to work, and we're going to take care of these criminals. We're going to put them where they have to be. We're going to.
They're getting some homemade hamburgers and some pizzas. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Are there any homemade hamburgers and pizza? I don't even think I would even trust to eat the food coming out of this White House. I really don't. I really don't. That's what he's showing.
You're going to say, don't play around with us. Don't play around with us. So let's go have something to eat. You're going to like the hamburgers? Would you rather have hamburgers from the White House or pizzas from a good place, huh? I think you want, they want the hamburgers. Have a good time, everybody. Thank you very much. Christy, thank you very much, darling. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, well, whoa. Guess who finally found her way to the occasion? Drunk Janine Piero. She hasn't spilled any hateful words out. Look, let's hold up. We were gone. We got to let the lush up here to say some hateful words.
Judge Janine is here. She's unbelievable. We have Leo 2.0. Whoa. Judge, I didn't see you over there. It's lucky I spotted her. It's lucky I spotted her. I would have been in big trouble. And Leo, Leo 2.0, we love Leo. He's a great prosecutor, that's for sure. They both started off really as law enforcement and top lawyers and judges and law enforcement, and that's how they became famous. Then they went into show business, and everyone thought, gee, were they real? But they were the real deal, and you're both doing great. Thank you very much. Pam, do you want to say something? Janine, please.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of you. Every night when you hit the street, you make a difference, not just for us, but for everyone in the district. They are grateful for what you do. They are thankful. And I am making sure that we back the blue to the hilt. Every arrest you make, we're going to the longest way to make sure that we charge in those cases. So God bless you and thank you for what you do. You're making a difference. And Mr. President, with
Okay, so every arrest you make, we're going to charge she's going to make sure we charge in all of these cases. So you're going to actually make sure that you lose a lot of cases, and you're going to also make sure that the Metro PD or whatever department that are making these arrests are going to pay out money to people, because every arrest is not prosecuted. Even on the first 48, you see that some of these charges may be dropped. You have to, just because you're arrested doesn't mean that you have been properly arrested, that you have been arrested on actual crimes, chargeable crimes. We saw how they were wandering around the neighborhood and asked a guy for his ID because he was smoking a cigarette on his own front porch. Do all of these this infiltration of National Guard and from DC, coming from West Virginia, Ohio, and some other butt-fuck country, butt-fuck state. Where is it? West Virginia, Ohio, South Carolina. Do they even know the laws of DC to even arrest people? All laws are not created equal. Something that's illegal in one state is legal in another state. So she said that every arrest is going to be prosecuted. So I just really want you to understand how they're blowing smoke up. They think they're blowing smoke up everyone's asses. None of this shit that they're telling you for photo op is making a mustard seed worth of sense. Nothing.
without you, no one would even have tried. So thank you.
30 seconds. We have the greatest president in our lifetime protecting this country, and you guys have done a great job. And I've had the privilege to work with the greatest attorney general in Pam Bondi. This team really appreciate you. We want to thank you. You are doing the work that makes this country great, protecting America. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Be safe. Thank you.
Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck was that? I don't even know. Whoever 2.0. Thank you. I'm so glad that they did not. You weren't caught on camera. Because I would hate to see all the spittle that was coming on your out of your mouth as you were licking boots and ass. Thank you for not being on camera. That's all I have on that one. So let's see what else I have. Yes, he's spending on what he wants and cutting for everyone else, while he personally gets rich in the meantime. You want to go back and check out the information that I gave you about Ohio. Now, here we go. Rachel Maddow had a piece on sketchy Trump and why you ought to follow the money. You always want to follow the money. Okay, here we go.
Is called, it's not Seattle Airport, right? It's called SeaTac.
Okay, let's get...
basically, a history... Yep.
I may start here. Who built the Tacoma Narrow Bridge that fell into the ocean months after it was... the first one fell into the ocean a month after it was built. It would sway like this. You know, she gives a long intro.
Move, right? And it was...
I'll play it right here. Okay, let's play.
Tacoma, Washington is about an hour south and a little west from Seattle. And Tacoma's a big city. I mean, Seattle has about 650,000 people. Tacoma has about 200,000 people. I always loved that part of the country. It's just a lovely part of that lovely state. But on July 1st, 1940, Tacoma got a brand new bridge, a really important part of the infrastructure for that part of the world. July 1st, 1940, Tacoma got a bridge to connect it with the tip-top northwest corner of Washington state. It's a bridge that spans what they call the Tacoma Narrows. But the Tacoma Narrows bridge that they got on July 1st, 1940, it was not a good bridge. Look at that. You know, look at that. When they had been building it, they knew something was wrong. 1938, 1939, 1940, the construction workers who were building that thing were telling anyone who would listen that there was something wrong. This thing moved way too much whenever the wind picked up. See the car there? The construction workers who built this thing called it galloping Gertie. It would twist and undulate and just sort of get going. It was like basically a breakdance move, right? And it's amazing to see. It was sort of funny. It's an object of fascination for a time. But then on November 7th, 1940, that same year that it was opened, it was actually 2 days after the presidential election that year when FDR was elected to a third.
Okay.
What was going on in the country at that point, right? This is late 1940, November 1940. The country had other things on its mind. I mean, by 1941, we were into World War II, and there were other more pressing uses for American steel and American engineering firepower. So even though it collapsed in the fall of 1940, it was not until a decade later that they replaced it and they put another bridge across the Tacoma Narrows. 1950, they built a new one without the galloping Gertie flaws of the old one.
Who built it?
And this one worked. But you know what? By this century, even that replacement bridge from 1950, even that, well, it didn't need replacing. It was fine. But Tacoma had outgrown it by the 2000s. And so in 2007, they opened up a whole new Tacoma Narrows Bridge. And the great thing is they put it up right next to the old one, where once was the terrifying physics class roller coaster that bucked like a Bronco. Now, you see how there's two sets of bridges there? See the two towers next to each other? Now they've got two bridges there. The replacement bridge from 1950 carries cars out of Tacoma, and the brand spanking, bigger, new, modern bridge right next to it, that carries cars eastbound into Tacoma. So the good people of Tacoma are now lousy in bridges over that particular part of Puget Sound. They've got the 1950 one, they've got the 2007 one. And both of those bridges that they've got are a good reminder now of the importance of good engineering. Just because you can build something doesn't mean you can build it right. The company that built the latest bridge, the modern bridge over the Tacoma Narrows, that's a company called Bechtel. Bechtel is one of the biggest companies in the United States. And the amount of stuff they have built or had a hand in building since Bechtel was founded over 100 years ago, it's basically a history of major infrastructure and building adventures in America and around the world for good and bad. I mean, Bechtel played a big part in building Hoover Dam. They built the DC Metro. They built tons of nuclear power plants. They built the Channel Tunnel, the channel between England and France. They built hundreds of U.S. warships during World War II. They built some of the earliest railroads in the American West, starting with mule-drawn power. They built oil pipelines all over the Middle East. They built the metro system for the city of Athens, Greece. They built the Jubilee line for the London Tube. They're building the Saudi city of Riyadh, a brand new subway system right now, one of the biggest projects.
So what you're saying is they are very proficient in building. This is an American company. They have built everything. There should be no question about the things that they have built. Is that what you're saying, Rachel? I think that's what she's saying. Let's see what happened when they went to Bajru, what is it? Bajru, what is it?
They've ever been involved in. They did the big dig in Boston, which was almost unimaginably big. If your city just found out that you're going to be hosting an Olympics sometime in the future, these guys are probably who you will call to build all your Olympics facilities. And Russia on the top end.
Azerbaijan. Let's see what happened when they went there. They built the cover over Chernobyl, the nuclear site that would be emanating nuclear waste forever. They were the one who built that hood that they put over it. They built everything. So they're going to go to Azerbaijan and offer to build roads for Azerbaijan.
And Iran on the bottom.
And let's see what happens when they propose put their price down.
It's a country called Azerbaijan. It's a small country. It's about the size of Ireland. It's a former Soviet state run by a dictator. Now they've got oil money. That's always a good combination. The new oil money doesn't, of course, mean that the people of that country are any better off. It never works that way under a dictator. In the case of Azerbaijan, though, their oil wealth has resulted in them doing a lot of building. They've built a whole bunch of stuff, particularly in their capital city of Baku. Big show-offy modern buildings, big fancy buildings in particular for government agencies. And in 2007, the transportation minister in Azerbaijan, he had what could have been a really, really important meeting for the future of his country. He met with Bechtel to talk about roads. He met with this giant American...
Bechtel, who built all of that stuff that is in the start of the video. Let's see how that meeting went to build roads.
American company that has, that built the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, the latest one, and that built the Hoover Dam and nuclear power plants and pipelines and roads all over the world. Transportation minister from this little country, flush with oil money. He met with the senior vice president of Bechtel to talk about the prospect of Bechtel coming to Azerbaijan and building roads all over that country. Big projects, lots of roads. They've got money to spend. That's part of what they want to spend it on. Bechtel totally could have done that. Like I said, they've done it all over the world. That meeting happened in April 2007, and they made no deal. And part of the reason we know about how that meeting went is because of WikiLeaks. The American ambassador in that country cabled home to the State Department to explain what happened with that meeting of that executive from that big American company coming to talk about a big infrastructure deal with this transportation minister. She explained that the Azerbaijanis, quote, pressed the Bechtel senior vice president on a typical price for any proposed Bechtel road project. After extensive caveats, the Bechtel executive said that a typical greenfield type road, meaning starting from nothing, could cost approximately $5 to $6 million per kilometer. That's the basic price. And then continuing from the cable, quote, that amount struck Minister Mammadov as quite expensive.
Okay, that was too expensive. They turned it down. $5 million per kilometer. They were like, hell no. We will not pay that.
Minister thought that was way too much.
I don't know. Let's follow the money.
Much to spend. So for each new kilometer of road, Bechtel wanted to charge $5 or $6 million. Azerbaijan, transportation minister, said,
so obviously they found someone cheaper to build their roads. So let's get
no way. That's way too expensive. And they sent Bechtel.
And for what price? Were they being overcharged by this American company? Maybe this was because they did find someone to build their roads.
Packing. Sent them home empty-handed, and they hired somebody else to do the work instead. And instead of costing $5 or $6 million per kilometer, they had the work done for $18 million per kilometer.
Hold on. That's more than 3 times more that they paid. From $5 million to $18 million kilometer, and they paid that. Now, when something that odd happens, let's see why they did that. May have done that.
Bechtel must have been like, say what now? I mean, we're too expensive, so you send us away so you can have the work done instead at more than triple our price? Because we're too expensive? What? When stuff stops making any financial sense on the surface, that's where it often starts to make sense when it comes to stories related to our new president. Reporter Adam Davidson has a new piece out in The New Yorker today about what may end up being the next major line of inquiry into our new president. And it is starting to me to look like one of the best explanations we have had yet about why the White House is so dramatically freaked out about the prospect that there might be an independent investigation into this president and his foreign contacts. And this story basically has just a few little steps we have to follow in order to see what a problem this is for the president. Basically, 3 steps to understanding this. The first one is, what explains that Bechdel thing? What dynamic is at work there? Right? Why would this country turn down Bechdel to do this work because of their $6 million price tag saying that's too expensive, and then instead give it to another company who charged triple that? Well, the company that charged triple that, the company that got that gig instead of Bechdel, the company that did the work at triple the price, thank you very much. That is a company that is believed to be controlled by Iran's Revolutionary Guard. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard is basically the second military in Iran. It is charged with preserving internal order in that country. And yes, that's meant to be a scary thing to say. But the Revolutionary Guard also wages war on behalf of Iranian interests and the supreme leader around the globe. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard is one of the world's major supporters, financially and otherwise, of international terrorist movements. And of course, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is deeply sanctioned by the U.S. government.
Now, did you know that? Did anybody have any idea about any of this? Because didn't 4547 didn't try to tell you that the nuclear weapons were obliterated and in his strike on Iran? Huh? Is heavily backed by the Americans. Let's continue.
Revolutionary Guard, actually, it's sort of counterintuitive in terms of the way we think about military stuff here. But the Revolutionary Guard in Iran, like I said, they financially and otherwise support terrorist movements around the globe. And they've got a ton of their own money. They're a financial powerhouse. Revolutionary Guard in Iran, they've got front companies in everything from oil and gas to illegal alcohol importing to weapons manufacturing to construction, lots of construction. Revolutionary Guard has a lot of money, and they need a lot of money for what they do around the world. But with the sanctions on them, it's awkward, it's hard, it's often illegal for them to move their money around. So they need what appear to be legitimate business transactions, the bigger the better, to receive and to spend as much money as possible, to move as much Revolutionary Guard money as is possible through seemingly legitimate means, so that Revolutionary Guard money becomes apparently legitimate business money, which then is much easier to access and much easier to move around the globe, so you can, finance terrorist groups or whatever else it is you need to do. So if you're the Revolutionary Guard, you need front companies that can do what appears to be legitimate business. And if you're the Revolutionary Guard, you've got a front company doing construction. And if you can get a deal, infrastructure deal, doing some construction project somewhere, you know what? The bigger the deal, the better. The more money moves through that, the better. And if you're the transportation minister in a country like Azerbaijan, well, the bigger the better for you too, right? I mean, if you care about getting a good deal for the people of your country, then of course it'd be a bad thing to have a lot of money moving through these contracts unnecessarily. But if you want to support the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and if the Guard wants to help you out in return, well, you know what? Big is beautiful then. Can we quadruple this? Transportation minister in Azerbaijan who did these deals, his government salary is reportedly about $12,000 a year. Somehow on a salary of $12,000 a year, he has become a billionaire. We're sort of all learning now that this is one of the things to watch for in international corruption, money laundering, bribery schemes. Look for deals that on the surface make no financial sense, because they're going to make sense in some other way. Look, for example, at this. You see this big building in the center of the picture here. Look at the roads around it. If you wanted to drive to that building, how would you drive to that building? Adam Davidson writes in The New Yorker, quote, reaching the property is surprisingly difficult. The tower stands amid a welter of on-ramps, off-ramps, and overpasses. During the 9 days I was in town, I went to the site half a dozen times. On each occasion, I had a comical exchange with a taxi driver who had no idea which combination of turns would lead to the building's entrance. So it's literally hard to get into. This is a picture from one angle. I should also show you, this is a picture that ran in The New Yorker today that I think it's supposed to be the front of the building. Point of personal privilege here. Susan saw me reading this article, and she laughed out loud when I got to this page. She said she thought from across the room that I was looking.
How do you get to the building? No one plans to get to the building. It is a decoy. It's a facade that people were allegedly pouring money into, but no one actually planned on this being a resort hotel of any by any means of the way. This is the whole point. Now, whose building is this?
Dirty pictures. It does have a certain something. Come on. Paging Georgia O'Keeffe. But this building, I have to say, whatever you think of its looks, it doesn't make sense for a bunch of reasons. Not just because there's no way to get...
QI, if you're still here, she said that when she was reporting on this story, you know, she's a lesbian. She said that her wife thought that she was looking at a dirty picture by looking at this building. And she got a good cackle. I hope you got a good cackle too, QI. You probably didn't hear that comment. I interrupted, but that's what they were laughing at.
There's no way to get to it, and it's kind of hilarious looking from the front. But look at this. We've marked on this map with that red arrow. That's where the fancy hotels are in the capital of Azerbaijan, right on the Caspian Sea, right? The other building that we just showed you, the one with the on-ramps and off-ramps to nowhere and everything, that big new building, it's not where all the other hotels are. It's over there. And what's described as not a particularly good neighborhood, it's over by an extensive field of rail yards. It's about an hour's walk from where any other well-off Western tourist might be expected to stay in this town. It's weird for a luxury building. Until December, this past December, where the upper right arrow is there, that weird building that you can't get into in the middle of nowhere next to the rail yards, that was supposed to be the site of the new Trump Tower in Azerbaijan, in all its Georgia O'Keeffe glory. It was supposed to be way over there, away from everything else in that capital city. In fact, I know it's hard, if you've never been there, I've never been there, you might find it hard to sort of picture what's weird about the location. Let me show you how weird that location was. 2014, the president's daughter, Ivanka, was on a business trip to Azerbaijan. They had a Trump building project there. She posted this Facebook video showing how awesome the view was from her hotel room.
A very long flight, but I'm here in Baku, Azerbaijan. Check it out, view from my balcony. The Flame Towers. And the Caspian Sea.
That is, in fact, a lovely view there, right next to the Caspian Sea. That's nowhere near the building she's there to work on. That's not where the Trump Tower was going. We think she's at the Four Seasons, which is 5 kilometers away and an hour's walk away from where the Trump building was going up in the middle of town, nowhere near the sea, right? In all its hard to look at glory. This building in this random neighborhood in Baku, Azerbaijan, it's a business project that really just doesn't make sense on the surface. Building's a huge luxury development in a city that isn't sustaining its current luxury properties. It's in the wrong part of town for a luxury property. No way was ever designed to get into the property. Why was this built? How could it ever make financial sense to pour this much in terms of resources into something that doesn't even seem like it was designed to work? This was supposed to be Trump Tower, Baku, Azerbaijan. 1 month after our presidential election, the Trump organization abandoned this project. They pulled out.
Well, where did all the money go that they were pouring into this project? Why would they pour a project into something that like that? Is this similar to why Azerbaijan actually took a bid 3 times higher to bid there to get their roads, and their transportation secretary who make $12,000 a year suddenly got filthy rich? I don't know. This is her story. I'm just giving it to you.
And here's what you need to know. The Trump family's business partner in that project was the family of the transportation minister of Azerbaijan, the one who made all those lucrative partnerships.
What? That was their partner? Wow. That sounds kind of dirty. Let's continue.
Inexplicably lucrative deals with companies that really do appear to just be fronts for the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Apparently helping the Iranian Revolutionary Guard launder money, evade sanctions for their support of terrorism around the world, and making himself and his own family wildly wealthy in the process. That was their partner. His family was their partner in that deal. Deals that make no financial sense on the surface are worth a second look to see if they make some other kind of sense, some other way of looking at it. If you are a government official
So, when 4547 went over to Syria, as Syria, we know that who is in place into interim president of Syria is a former, I think it was an Al-Qaeda leader in Syria. And we do know that Benjamin Netanyahu has been making strikes from the actual sovereign nation of Syria. So when 4547 did his Middle East trip and announced that he is actually building a Trump property there, does that make you go, or do you even remember that happening? I remember that happening. Let's continue.
gets rich off the contracts you award and the projects you greenlight, you might award anything as a contract, right? You might greenlight anything. And American businesses are free to do business anywhere it is legal to do business in the world. But American businesses are not allowed to accept any funds if the origin of those funds is a sanctioned organization like the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. And you have to check it out. You have to know. American businesses are not allowed to participate in business deals with partners who are acting illegally. And you have to know, you have to check it out. Looking the other way is not a defense. Do you know the handbag company Dooney and Burke? Me neither. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but they're very nice handbags.
Yeah, I didn't even know that one of their creators went to jail for doing just what you said, Rachel.
And I'm learning about them now because Frederick Burke of Dooney and Burke was convicted in 2009 of doing a business deal in Azerbaijan with a corrupt partner. The handbag guy wasn't paying the bribes. He was just in business with an Azerbaijani guy who did pay bribes, who was corrupt. And that's enough to have put the handbag guy in federal prison. If you're an American business, you are expected to do your due diligence to make sure the people you're doing business with are not paying bribes. They're not corrupt.
Now, well, how is it that 4547 and his family was allowed to actually be partner in business with the transportation secretary, Rachel? Isn't, from what you're saying, that means that they are putting themselves up to be in jail too, because ignorance of the law is no excuse, is what I've always been taught. Let's find out.
In the case of this inexplicable Trump building project that was inexplicably abandoned right after the election, Trump and his family were in business with the cartoon caricature of corruption in that country. And I mean that almost literally. In the fall of 2014, 4 months before, Ivanka Trump was on the balcony of the Four Seasons showing off the Caspian Sea from a normal hotel location. You know, the family she was there to do business with was featured in this article in Foreign Policy magazine. Look at the headline: "The Corleones of the Caspian." Under the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act.
You mean all the way back in 2014, she was representing 4547's business, and she was doing it with the Corleones, Michael Corleone, the Corleones of the Caspian. Rachel, I know you're lying, and nobody has looked into this, Rachel. Okay, let's continue.
Act, which is U.S. law, not to put too fine a point on it, but under the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, you cannot go into business with the Corleones of the Caspian. You must, as an American business, do due diligence to make sure your financial partners in your international businesses are not paying bribes, are not outrageously corrupt, are not involved in huge repeated financial dealings with sanctioned international sponsors of terrorism like the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. It is a violation of U.S. law to do business with, to make money from a business partnership like that. The new president, as I said, he and his organization backed out of this deal a month after the election, not before he received millions of dollars in the deal. We know that from the limited financial filing he made as a candidate for president. If there is going to be an independent investigation of this president and his campaign and his ties to Russia, right? It is inconceivable that an independent investigation would not include an examination of the president's financials, right? His tax returns, his business records, all the rest. Adam Davidson at The New Yorker has just detailed enough about the president's dealings in this one former Soviet republic to raise several questions. I mean, is the president or his family potentially at risk of having violated the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which is a crime for which you go to jail?
No, because who's going to bring forth the investigation? People, the Democrats are too busy trying to save their own asses for going to jail. The former people in the Department of Justice are trying to find new jobs because they were on a committee that investigated 4547. The people who investigated the January 6th thing are too busy trying to save their asses from prosecuting and investigating all of the people who were brought up on charges on January 6th. So I just want to be clear with you guys. It was alleged that Russia, Vladimir Putin, when he first got back in office, that he took wealth from a lot of wealthy people over in Russia. He just took their money. They say that Vladimir Putin is so filthy rich, and one of the ways that he got rich is he just took their money. This is what has been reported. So we understand that 4547 is a big fan of Putin. So we understand that 45, 47 don't give a fuck about what is happening to you and how you live your life. They just came out yesterday. They said that John Deere, it was John Deere is laying off workers. Walmart came out and said that prices have gone up 22% thus far from the tariff, and by November, they will be increasing prices at Walmart. Some of the prices on some of the things will be increased up to 50% more, and they said that by November, the tariff is going to call shoppers 62% more than they did before these tariffs. You think 45, 47 gives a fuck about any of that? They said that the tariffs are estimated to cost shoppers over $3,000 this year alone. And I don't know how know how they get the median price of what people buy, but it's going to cost some shoppers a whole lot more than $3,000 to try to do any regular shopping that they had been doing prior to these tariffs. So while the American people, some of them who excuse all of the lawlessness of 45, 47, talking about eggs were too high, it's about the economy. Well, it's really about to be about the economy right now. And the person in office doesn't care about you. He cares about his personal wealth and the wealthy people around them getting wealthy. He doesn't care about the American people. And he don't care if you live or die, have a doctor to go to. He don't care about none of that shit. He is in it for the grift of it all, in my opinion. He is in it to do what he has been doing. He has made billions, not millions, billions since he's been in office. And I don't recall any media outlet talking about conflicts of interest. I don't recall him even bothering to say that he has put his companies in a blind trust this time. I don't even recall anybody just posing the question, when are you going to release your tax return? But there were some tax returns released today. Come to find out, you know who has paid zero taxes since, I believe it was 2018? Or 2019, Tesla has paid zero money in taxes since either 2018 or 2019. $0. And the owner of Tesla is the richest man in the world. So all they care about is these rich people, as they tax you to death and make you pay exorbitant prices, as they make sure that you can't even remember that there was a such thing as a American dream where you work hard, you buy a house, 2 cars in the garage. That's fiction at this point. Are you kidding me? Hey, Renee, have a good day as well. Have a good a good time at work. Yeah, have a good time at work. Go get that money in, Renee. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, we're going to get to the Ohio story that I had been telling QI, that I had pinned up. You remember me talking about Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson and Brian Cohen, Brian Tyler Cohen went on. Oh my God, I am so sick of Como. I am so sick of Chris Como. Chris Como is a great disappointment. A huge disappointment with all of his new right-leaning talking points and taking up for bullshit. Let's look at Benny Johnson. Last time I showed you Benny Johnson who had employed Candace Owens and fired her and kept calling her and is now calling her husband gay, is now calling them a gay couple, and she's a lesbian and he's gay, and they're each other's beards, just saying deplorable things about women all the time, though. So they're having a little debate here. Benny Johnson here said that they should bulldoze portions of DC because they're uninhabitable, and that some people came here for the protests and never left, and all of this. He's talking about black people. He said that his ancestors made DC great, ignoring the fact that everything great about DC is because it is Chocolate City, built and obtained by the community of black people, mostly black people. So this is a history revisionist, and here's our man Brian Cohen Green. So let's hear their discussion.
Like the 2020 election was rigged, the 2022 election was rigged, that the Mar-a-Lago raid was over nothing. Do you own all of those lies?
Well, those are opinions. Those are opinions, and those are my opinions. And yes,
No, those are lies. He said those are opinions. He's talking a fact. What Brian Cohen, Benny Johnson has been spewing to his large audience, over millions of audience. So they say that thank goodness Benny Johnson is on the decline. And I'm gonna let this play.
2020 election was rigged, and the 2022 election was rigged, and that the FBI Mar-a-Lago documents
it could be wrong, but it's still an opinion.
Brian Tyler Cohen went on Chris Cuomo's show on News Nation to go up against Benny Johnson, one of the absolute worst far-right MAGA YouTubers, commenters, podcasters, whatever you want to refer to him as. We're going to take a look at these clips of Brian Tyler Cohen debating in this heated debate with Benny Johnson on Chris Cuomo's show. I will share my thoughts on this as well. Let's get into it together.
But I do believe that you guys are often in the weaponization business, that it's not just that Benny's wrong. Benny's dangerous. It's not just that Brian's wrong. You know, Brian wants to destroy America. And I think it leaks into what we see around us. Brian.
Look, I think what's important here, I mean, just to focus on the issue at hand, I mean, Benny presents himself as somebody who's trying to get to the truth, right? The reality is that he is a purveyor of misinformation and disinformation, and has been for years, shamelessly and relentlessly. This guy said that the 2020 election was rigged. He said the 2022 election was rigged. He said the FBI admitted that Mar-a-Lago documents raid was over nothing. He said a deep state cabal engages in predictive programming by showing shows like The Simpsons to announce their satanic plans to the world. And you had Bob Costas on before, and he mentioned the phrase, there's a profit motive, right? And the reality is that's why Benny does it. I mean, Benny benefited to the tune of how many thousands of dollars when a Russian influence campaign, Tenet Media, paid you to say whatever it is that you went out there and said, which is very similar to what you're saying right now, which is that that the Democratic Party is looking to incite a race war against white people. It's the same exact verbiage that you were using.
Now, watch Chris Cuomo comes in to save Benny Johnson before Benny Johnson is able to address these lies and the fact that he had been paid over. I thought it was. I said it was between $100,000 and $300,000 a month. And watch Cuomo comes in and try to save him. This is Captain Save-A-Hole right here in the middle. We do know he a hole, but he's Captain Save-A-Hole as well.
Using then when you're getting paid by the Russians to do it, that you're using right now. So it's been a long stretch of disinformation.
I get the allegation. Let Benny give a response. Then I want to go to break. I want to keep talking to you guys if you have more time. But Benny, please respond before we go to break.
So first off, on the Russia allegations, the DOJ and Merrick Garland said that there was absolutely no Russian money exchange. We were doing business with an American company. That investigation, as far as I know, is still ongoing. And what you've just said there is defamatory and libelous.
If the investigation is still ongoing, that does not disprove that you were not being paid by the Russians, and we know how far the investigation is going to go under this administration. It's going to go nowhere. Let's continue.
Now,
it's not defamatory to say that,
on the question, it absolutely is.
Tenant media paid
absolutely
you, Tim
it absolutely
Pool,
is
and 2 other
defamatory
people.
And libelous. And Merrick Garland has personally cleared us all of wrongdoing.
He didn't say anything. He said that you were paid by tenant media. A front. Something attend to what we just saw in the last clip that I showed you. A proxy.
Myself, Tim Pool, and Dave Rubin. But let me ask you a quick question. You're saying that I want to stoke a race war. Well, Zoran Mandami, who wants to be the mayor of New York City and is the odds-on favorite mayor of New York City, Democrat candidate for mayor, says that he wants to tax white people more. Are you in favor of that, Brian?
Now, you see these faces that Chris Cuomo is making at this actual lie that Mandami did not say, but Mandami kicked Chris Cuomo's brother's ass that he had to run as a third-party candidate, and Chris Cuomo has been saying some really fucking fucked up shit about Muslims because a Muslim beat his brother, and because they are in bed with Israel. So Chris Cuomo, watch his face. Now he said that white people. He said that Mandami said this about white people, and Brian Tyler Cohen is going to tell you exactly what Mandami said.
I don't even know what you're talking about. It doesn't even sound real.
Campaign platform. This is wild. It's a campaign
His campaign platform is to tax white people more than non-white people.
What? No. In the awkward position of defending Zoran Mandami, I'm going to go to break. But he didn't say tax white people more. He said we have to look to shift the tax burden to whiter neighborhoods that are more affluent and shift the burden from lower income benefits. It didn't play well. Benny's right to jump on it, but I got to correct the record, even though I don't cover the race because my brother's in it. Benny's still hot that you said Russia paid him off when it was tenant media. Benny, let's just do this. Let's put a point on it so that I can ask you guys about something else. Did you know that tenant media got money from Russian operatives that was then used to pay you guys and other commentators? Did you know that, Benny?
No, Chris, and in a full report and a public disclosure by Merrick Garland himself, but also by the FBI, who contacted me and told me that I was the victim of a crime, Merrick Garland cleared all creators and hosts of wrongdoing, including myself, Tim Pool, and Dave Rubin, along with other hosts.
What's hilarious with Benny Johnson is, and this is the MO of all of these MAGA right-wingers, and I mean, just look at Donald Trump, their God King. So Benny Johnson says to Brian Tyler Cohen, what you're saying is defamatory and libelous. When Benny Johnson says defamatory and libelous things all day long on YouTube, every day on YouTube about other people, but it's the typical bully who can dish it out but can't take it.
Additionally, Benny Johnson, did you give that money back when you found out that it was funneled through tenant media to give to you since a crime was committed against you, Benny Johnson, or did you keep that money? Since somebody committed a crime against you, you want to keep it? You want to keep the benefits of the crime that was committed on you, Benny Johnson? Let's move to the point where
a guy like Benny Johnson, he can say whatever he wants about everybody else because they're on the left or they're. It's just like their God King Donald Trump, who calls people every name in the book and says all kinds of lies every single day, but is constantly suing people because of the things that they say about him.
Now, I always thought what was interesting about it was that they thought that the programming that you guys were doing anyway was good to advance the division cause in America that they covet. What do you think of that?
Oh, okay. So you give him an out. I always thought that they liked what you were putting out anyway. So it wasn't that they gave you talking points. They liked the direction of your show. So they decided to tip you for what you were saying anyway. You see what Chris Como did right there? Oh no. The story is that they were repeating Russian talking points. So Chris Como sees it as something different. Because Chris Como, let's not forget his brother is in conversations, phone conversations with 4547 to try to win back this seat as mayor of New York. That has also been exposed, Chris Como. You want to talk about that, Chris Como?
That suggestion?
I was never told once and never did.
Now, this is the first time he hates that he didn't think of that excuse himself. He's like, let's go back here.
That they covet. What do you think of that suggestion?
I was never told once and never did once and never will for the rest of my life follow orders from anyone for what I say on my show. I own 100% of my company, and I own 100% of the words that I say.
I agree. I'm saying that's what I always found interesting, that they were willing to pay for you what you wanted to say anyway, because I think they liked the effect of it.
The thing that's always been hilarious about this to me with Benny Johnson and Tim Pool and Dave Rubin and whoever else was involved.
If they liked what he was saying, all they had to do was promote it and watch it. They didn't have to pay him if he was already saying it. What you're saying, Chris Como, makes absolutely no sense. They saw that he was willing to do anything, defame anyone, and they gave him it is alleged that they gave him talking points, and that's what he was paid for, Chris Como. If I like Brian Tyler Cohen, I'm not paying him hundreds of thousands of dollars a month because I like his content under the guise of a media company. I'm not doing that just because I like what he says. What you're saying makes no sense. That's why you're on News Nation, a right-wing ripoff of Fox News. You're a loser, Chris Como. You're trash. You couldn't do like Don Lemon did after he got fired from CNN and make his own stamp in his own show and say what he wanted to say. No, you had to bend the knee like the bitch you are, Chris Como, and saddle up with a media corporation and toe the line of the agenda that they want put out on News Nation. That's why you're trash, Chris Cuomo, and not withholding all the trashy shit that you were doing to women, you and your brother.
In it with the Russia scandal is they were getting paid. The reports were $400,000 a month to do 4 videos, so $100,000 per video. It would be awfully difficult for somebody on YouTube to make $100,000 on a video. 4 of those a month from advertising. And this group comes to Benny Johnson and Tim Pool and Dave Rubin. It says, hey, we're going to give you all this money. And they just don't ask any questions. They don't say like, oh, so who are you? Who do you work for? What do you do? Just like, okay, give me the 400,000.
They don't do any research. They don't do anything. And you have Chris Cuomo in here making trying to soft pedal and give Benny Johnson a soft landing. Let me get back to the conversation. Here we go.
I brought up a bunch of lies that you had said before, like the 2020 election was rigged, the 2022 election was rigged, that the Mar-a-Lago raid was over nothing. Do you own all of those lies?
Well, those are opinions.
No, those are
opinions,
lies.
and those are my opinions.
That,
and yes,
that the 2020 election was rigged, and the 2020
and those were opinion. He wasn't about to say that until Cuomo put it in his mouth.
was rigged, the 2022 election was rigged, that the Mar-a-Lago raid was over nothing. Do you own all of those lies?
Well, those are opinions.
Those are opinions, and those are my.
He said yes at first, and then he followed Chris Cuomo. Those are opinion. Those were opinion. Chris Cuomo. No, those were lies.
My opinions, and yes,
that the 2020 election was rigged and the 2022 election was rigged, and that the FBI Mar-a-Lago
it
documents
could be
raid was over
wrong, but it's
nothing?
still an opinion.
I have sources that in the coming days we're going to find out a great deal about the 2020 election, and we're going to find a considerable amount of criminality out of it.
Better not just be Michael Flynn.
How about
And now he doubles down, and Chris Cuomo tries to make it a joke about Michael Flynn, but he followed you, and then he said in the next couple of days there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out about the 2020 election. He is absolutely doing what Brian Tyler Cohen is telling him. He's lying, and you're trying to make a joke of him lying on your show.
Be Michael Flynn, Benny, but let me ask you something else, because I believe that we're
But let's get off this topic. Wait. Let me ask you something else.
demonstrating a little bit of the
Chris,
toxicity.
if you're going to allow Brian to continue his line of questioning, please, if you would. This was so much fun to ask Brian about Zohran Mandami wanting to tax whiter people in white neighborhoods more.
I clarified it.
Do you agree with that, Brian?
I clarified
on
it.
his campaign website, and he doubled down on it on MSNBC. And I'm shocked that you don't know that. I thought you were somebody who really
You're going to
paid
ask
attention
me.
to these
You're
kind of
going
things.
to ask me if I'm in favor of taxing more affluent communities at a higher rate. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm of course in favor of taxing wealthier people at a higher rate.
Can you guys both agree?
Very quickly, I'm glad that we got that. Fine, you're entitled to your opinion. I think that it's wrong. And the DOJ, Harmeet Dillon, who's in charge of the Civil Rights Division, has publicly said that may be racist and may be criminal, but that's okay to admit that, Brian.
Well, then let me ask you about this. Let me ask you this.
Given the last, just really fast, since we're on Zohran Mandami and Chris
We're
can't
not
answer,
on him.
we're asked the question.
I never even talk about him because my brother's running against him,
in the
Benny.
wake of the shooting in New York, that the police should be defunded because he believes that they're not queer enough. Those are his exact words. And he mocked NYPD officers crying in their cop cars. Do you agree with that?
Do I agree that we should defund the police? No. Let me ask you a question.
No,
then.
wait, hold on a second. I don't want to hear any more of your questions.
Do you adhere to your words from September of 2024, Benny?
I want to ask a question. Here's why, Brian.
Last one, Chris.
Brian, here's why.
I promise. This one's a good one.
Brian, it's not a good one. Here's the problem. It'll work. It'll work for the relative assessment of you guys, but I'm telling you, it's killing us. It's killing us. Because you guys, it's great competitive banter, and you're building your own followings, and you're formidable, each and all of you as a group. But I'm telling you, it is.
Okay, so I went and found what Mandami said. We can hear it for ourselves. Let me share what actually he said. He said it on MSNBC. I have not heard this. I'm hearing this for the first time, like you guys are. So let's hear what was said about taxing.
If you do succeed, let's say, in convincing Albany to raise taxes, and I'm a little skeptical that that'll happen, but let's say you do, there is concern, as Governor Hochul mentioned, that there will be people who leave New York City for Palm Beach or elsewhere. I know we're not going to be playing our little violins for the billionaires who have to pay more taxes, but they do take a lot of money with them. And in fact, the Citizens Budget Commission found that hundreds of thousands of high-income New Yorkers have left New York City in just the past 5 years, and households that earn more than $1 million pay about 40% of New York City taxes. So why dismiss concerns that your potential tax base that you need to harvest money from to pay for these things will leave?
I don't think that these are concerns to be dismissed. These are ones that I have to engage with. And ultimately, as part of the other conversation of how do we win over voters who haven't yet joined this campaign and this coalition, I have to meet with New Yorkers who are concerned about any aspect of my campaign. I have to meet with them who oppose with this campaign, because I'm not looking to lead a coalition of those that voted for me. I'm looking to lead an entire city of 8.5 million people. And the reason that I believe that we need to increase taxes on the 1% and the most profitable corporations is because of the fact that those are taxes that would then pay for a better quality of life for all.
But only if they stay.
And the reason that I believe that they would stay, because I want them to stay, is that when the Fiscal Policy Institute did an analysis of the top 1% of New Yorkers, they found they leave at 1/4 the rate of other income brackets. And when they do leave, they go to other states that are considered high tax, New Jersey or California.
I've seen this study, and I have to say I'm a little dubious because we're talking about a major change in the tax system that would hasten departures that are already happening. Again, we've lost hundreds of thousands of wealthy New Yorkers already.
We now have more millionaires than we did in 2021 in this state. And the reason that I'm confident is all I'm speaking about is a 2% increase in income taxes for New Yorkers who make $1 million or more a year. And when it comes to corporations, it's matching our state's top corporate tax rate, 7.25%, to that of New Jersey, 11.5%. That's why I believe that this is both feasible and necessary, but I'm going to meet with business leaders about this. I've already started having those conversations because I do not want them to leave. I want them to stay. And the reason I think that we can have them stay is we're going to use this money to create a better quality of life, even for themselves.
If you do succeed, let's say, in convincing Albany to
Okay, so you heard it there for yourself. He was allegedly doubling down on raising taxes on rich people. So obviously, Benny Johnson believes that only white people are rich people in New York City. Let's continue.
Straining what we are supposed to be focused on, which is what are the common concerns. I'm telling you, nothing escapes. That Cincinnati fight that happened, the assault on the ground, I would have bet anything that.
Now you here we go. This is what I want. We're back in Ohio again. We started in Ohio and we're gonna leave in Ohio. That Cincinnati fight. He set the parameters of what that fight was. Let's listen again.
What are the common concerns? I'm telling you, nothing escapes. That Cincinnati fight that happened, the assault on the ground, I would have bet anything that I own that it was immediately going to be made into, hey, you know, if you flip the races, everybody would be upset about this. But when a bunch of black people beat up a couple of white people, nobody seems to care. When you know, Benny, Brian, that's not the way regular people think. Regular people think a group of anybody beats up a couple of anybody, it's a problem. People in their ordinary lives don't make things about race. We make it about race in the media for advantage. And do you guys worry? Benny, do you ever worry?
Okay, so he's saying that Cincinnati fight was made about race in the media. If that is true, if the now this is a false premise. If that is true, why is it that the only people who were arrested in that fight, the media doesn't make arrests. The only people who were arrested in that fight were the black people. So Chris Cuomo, spare me your bullshit. Let's finish with his the rest of his bullshit.
Man, I may be breaking something here that I can't fix. I may be getting people angry at people, and it's going to get out of control. I'm making them too angry. Do you ever worry about that?
By bringing light to what happened in Cincinnati, where a middle-aged couple was beaten savagely in an attempted murder. Did you see the woman, Chris, who got punched? She's probably the age of our mothers, and she got punched and leveled on the ground. It could have been anybody's mom. She's actually a single mother.
Attempted murder? Okay, let's continue.
And a small business owner in Ohio. Here she is on the screen. She's knocked out cold.
I'm not, Benny, I'm not telling you.
Where I didn't see any of that happen. I didn't see any of the shit that he said happen. I just previewed it today. If you guys seen this happen, let me know. I just previewed it when I heard him talking about it today. This is what he's talking about that is going on in Ohio. But it seems like he's awful mum about all the white supremacists that have been walking through Ohio, getting out of U-Haul vans, walking up the little downtown streets, waving their hate. I haven't heard anything. Why? Since you want to talk about Ohio, Benny, talk about that.
You think it's
simply
wrong
bringing
to
attention
punch a
to
lady
this.
in the face? That's
No
not what I'm
one
saying. That's not
covered
the
it,
attention
Chris.
you brought to it. No, 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 no. Of course we covered
Chris,
it.
nobody
But that's not
covered
the
it.
point.
No, there
It's
were no
about
stories
how
about it.
it was covered. Of course there were stories about it here at News Nation. But that's not the point. The point is how it's covered. Why
News
is the
Nation is an
race
exceptional
relevant?
news network.
Why is race relevant? Why do we have to make it relevant? Why do things have to be weaponized? That's what I don't understand.
Sure. Well, the DOJ has said that this may look like a race crime and it may have looked like targeting. And so there may have been an element there. And it was confusing to people online because there was
That's what the Trump DOJ says. Imagine that. I'm shocked.
no authority saying anything about this. Now, if you check the actual crime statistics, you'll find that in this area of Cincinnati, crime has tripled from 2023 reports that she couldn't even get an ambulance, Chris. And I don't think that any American wants to live in a zero trust society. What we're describing here is a failed state, a zero trust society.
I'm with you, but you called it terrorism. How is it terrorism?
I called what happened in New York terrorism.
Oh, I thought you called what happened in Cincinnati terrorism.
I think that what happened in New York was terrorism.
Well, terrorism in New York, I give you, because the guy seemed to be advancing a political agenda, but not in Cincinnati.
That's right.
So you thought he called what happened in Ohio terrorism. Now he said I called what is he trying to get away from actually saying that he did call it terrorism? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up as well. So let's continue.
That's right.
It just seemed to be bad people on the street in a group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that I framed that as terrorism, but I do think that it was a savage, brutal mob.
I don't think I would be sure if I had. Now, I don't think that I categorize that as terrorism. I'm gonna go search that out and see if he did in fact. But let me see if
Attack.
Yeah, I agree.
That took advantage, and nobody wants to live in a zero trust society. Vivek Ramaswamy is running for governor. He's spoken with the victims. I haven't. And so I'm going to depend on what he has to say about this. There were no police officers there. The woman couldn't even get an ambulance. She is suffering horribly. And nobody wants that to be their mother laid out in the street.
no one wants to be the white woman laid out in the street. But when black men are unalived and laid out in the street, what do people on his radar say about dead black men laid out in the street? Let that sink in. Dead black pregnant women shot down by police. What do they say then? Okay.
I mean, listen, this is a young man who clocked this woman in the jaw. There's no defense for it.
I know, but Benny, who's defending it? That's my point.
I'm not going to worry.
Benny, who's
I think that
defending
bringing
it?
light to it is important,
But
and I really hope that these criminals...
you seem to be making it seem like it doesn't matter.
So, that poor little innocent white woman. Did she strike anybody? Have you ever heard of? I don't know what happened. I'm telling you. I'm being clear. But I'm not going to paint the picture white and like he wants to. She is the only one who suffered. As he didn't see after the fight was broken up, the tall white dude went up to someone and slapped them in the face. But conveniently, they're not playing that on a real around and around and around on Newsmax. They're not after the initial fight was broken up. Then the guy who was in the initial fight reached over and slapped somebody who was not in the initial fight in the face, and then the melee started up again. But why is that missing on Benny Johnson and Newsmax? And Chris Cuomo has nothing to say about it. Let's okay.
Matter as much because the victims are white, and I just don't think that's right. Not only do I think it's right, I think it's dangerous. I think that you wind up pushing people to want to believe something that isn't there. Why? Why do that?
That's his mission.
I don't what do you mean? I don't think people
Chris,
care about it because the victims are white. I don't understand. I think that it's terrible when it happens in the inner city in Chicago. We regularly post the crime statistics from inner city Chicago.
But you never have any sympathy for the poor whatever person who was attacked. There's never any such. That's mocking when you report the statistics, black on black crime. The same way you're mocking it now. The same way you are dog whistling that no one wants to live in an unsafe society. The society is unsafe. These black people, they can't live amongst us. That's what you're promoting. To people, to like-minded people. Get the fuck out of my face.
Black on black crime, which is absolutely out of control. There's like a dozen murders last weekend. It's horrible, and nobody wants to live in a zero trust society. Nobody wants to live in a failed state.
Do you believe that you are helping build trust or destroy trust?
Oh, absolutely build trust, because there are certain stories that aren't covered factually. For instance, there's this old CNN host. His name was Chris Cuomo. And he said during the George Floyd riots, whoever said that protests need to be peaceful?
Right.
And I think that that's a crazy thing to say.
I know, because you took it out of context, which is exactly what I'm talking about. Look, even if I weren't a lawyer and a highly decorated one, the idea that I don't understand peaceable assembly is a silly notion unless you want to weaponize it. What I said was, when people came out in the initial protests of George Floyd, not the riots, okay? And once you touch person or property, a protest becomes a riot. And I got a lot of heat for saying that because people have different feelings about it, but that's too bad.
Personal property. Value is more than a life. A black life on top of that. Oh my God! Don't touch personal property that is highly insured. No! You're touching property. Let's continue.
That's the law. When they were saying ugly things to cops, people were upset about it and said they should go home. They shouldn't talk to cops like that. And I said, what do you want them to just sing slave hymns and go back home and say nice things? People are going to be angry. They're going to say angry things when things like this happen. Whoever said that you're going to go out there and just be peaceful. I meant the language. It got weaponized and twisted, and I'm okay with that. I signed up for it by being in the media. But but Benny, it's also a little bit gratuitous. Brian, do you think we need to be better before I end this show?
Singing the
Benny,
oldies.
no, I'm just saying. Well, I mean,
Here's the
look,
deal.
it's just the truth, Benny. I can't make you believe it. I can only tell you. Brian, go ahead.
I think Benny knows what he's doing, and Donald Trump is a demagogue, and this is what the right does. The right knows exactly what it's doing. They'll play dumb like Benny's doing right now and pretend that race doesn't factor
With a smug on his face.
into what they're doing. They expressly exploit divisions within communities, within colors of people. That's why the right has gone after black people, and then they've gone after gay people, and now they're going after trans people. They will other people. They will attempt to otherize everybody so that they can keep attention off of.
I think it's because it works. I think you got your slice too, Brian, who are going after Jews.
Well, I mean, I
Now people are going after Jews. Now people are going after Jews. Como, people are going after Jews when they are commenting on the atrocities that are being put down on the Palestinian people. Now you want to compare that to the hate mongering that is done by the right against
But I'm saying there is a
black, brown, gays, trans, and anybody who isn't a straight white male, women.
part of the left wing that is highly anti-Semitic, not just anti-Zionist,
and
anti-Semitic.
And look, I think it's wrong, and I don't do it. And I wish I could say the same thing for the guy on the other side of the screen.
So what Brian Tyler Cohen?
Now, hold on. He said that he has a part in it too, from the left, but he can't actually say what Brian Tyler Cohen has did that is straight up anti-Semitic. The left, anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic. But you say nothing. I wonder, did Chris Cuomo do a story on that little white town that was established by somebody who cannot even say if the Holocaust was real or not? And they don't see any anti-Semitic stuff in these people walking around with these Hitler flags. So let's get to that. Let's get to what was not stated in this interview. I didn't cover the story on this. Hey, the Bushes, I did not cover the story on this fight. I didn't even watch the fight until it came up in this conversation. I didn't even watch that fight until today. But here's something I want to share. A lot of stuff is missing in the story on this fight. Don't take my word for it. Let's talk to what is his name? I think his name is Leroy Tennessee. The Cincinnati Brawl narrative. Take his word for it. There are other. If you Google it,
more information has come out. It's looking like.
If you Google it, you can find many stories about what happened before and after the brawl that was played on a loop on these right-wing networks.
Like the Cincinnati Brawl narrative, we were fed by all the races. It's complete bullshit, of course. Let's get into it. So what we were told was that this was a...
Hold on. Let me unmute it. I was trying to bring the volume up. Here we go. I'm going to start over.
Come out is looking like the Cincinnati Brawl narrative. We were fed by all the races. It's complete bullshit, of course. Let's get into it. So what we were told was that this was a fight where some black folks were chasing down and beating white people because they're white. That's what we've been told this whole time by these people. And now that more video evidence is coming out, it's very obvious that they cut the very beginning of the fight that shows it was a mutual fight. It was a normal bar fight, drunk fight, whatever you want to call it. I've been in many of them back in the day when I was younger, where two groups of people are talking shit. There's little scuffles by both sides, and then it gets broken up. A black man and a white man both step in, break it up. They de-escalate it. And then the big white man walks up to the black man in the red shirt and smacks him right in the face, and then all hell breaks loose. And they've arrested 4 of the black folks. And let's see what the chief of police said when she was asked about why they haven't arrested the white man.
I asked city leaders directly. Well, the man that Pastor Lynch was talking about who made the slap that you could see on some of the cameras on social media, will he be facing charges?
We are actively investigating him. We take all violence very seriously. As I mentioned, I expect more charges and more arrests.
They spoke to his counsel before they went down to see him, and the counsel said no. He did not want the police talking to his client.
Just because he does not want the police talking to his client, the police can still arrest him without talking to him on charges for what he did. So we are clear that none of the white people were arrested in Ohio for this brawl when they actually said they are investigating them, only to turn around. How are you investigating him and saying you tried to talk to him, but his lawyer said no? And you saw exactly what he did on many different angles by many different cameras, and you cannot say you are going to arrest him for what he did. Let's continue.
So therefore, we have not had a conversation with him yet.
Like, what the fuck is she even talking about? You've already arrested 4 of the black folks that were in the fight, and you have video evidence of this white man walking up after it was de-escalated and smacking the black man in the red shirt right in the face, and that's when all hell breaks loose. And you want to talk to him, and you're being told no, and you're just like, well, that's all. You have video evidence of him assaulting someone, and they're saying these people are Russians. So what happened to America first? I guess that goes out the window when it's black folks, right? You gotta make it into a race thing when the black folks are sticking up for themselves. Let me remind you that they have a stand your ground law in Ohio, and I'm about to show you exactly what it says. So Ohio has a stand your ground law they passed in 2021 that takes away the duty to retreat. You can see it right there. There was a requirement to retreat, and now there's not. And the law gives you a self-defense right in defense of yourself, in defense of another, in defense of one's residence. So as soon as it was de-escalated and the white man walked up to the black man and smacked him right in the face, everybody there had a right, according to Ohio, to unalive him on the spot. Right there, boom, done. And all he did was get an ass beaten. So I'm really confused at how we're arresting the black folks in this situation, because everybody there had a right to defend the black man in the red shirt after he got smacked. Everybody. The Ohio law says it. Somebody that was not involved at all, that was standing there, that saw him get smacked, could have pulled out a pew-pew and ended it all right there. But he gets a beat down, and then they want to arrest 4 of the black folks, 5 of them, I think. They're trying to get the other one. He's not got arrested yet with felonies, and they won't even go arrest the white man that they have evidence of assaulting the black man in the red shirt. And don't give me this, oh, they jumped him, blah, blah. You have a right to unalive them on the spot. I don't need to hear about, oh, they got jumped and the woman got hit. The woman went and got involved in the fight. If you're in that fight, anybody running up to you could be a threat. And Ohio tells you that if you are threatened, you have a right to self-defense. So the best advice I can give you if you're not a racist conservative is to wait for the facts to come out. I waited a week because if you don't, they will have you looking dumb. You have literally sided with racist because you jumped on this shit 6 days ago and didn't wait all the information, okay? It's very obvious what happened here. It's very obvious that some shit's going on, that they don't want to go arrest the white man when they have video evidence of him smacking the black man. We should all be furious that the black people are arrested and the white man's not. And instead, the racists have everybody mad at the black folks.
Okay. That I wanted to share that with you. Now, I shared this when it happened. I shared another one that happened. This happened near actually Cincinnati, Ohio. What I'm about to share with you. The other one happened in Ohio. Oh, what is the name of that city? In Ohio. Oh, I can't remember the city that it was in. I want to show you this news broadcast. Here it is right here. Now, what I find strange about this, even in the title of this, protesters with Nazi flags confronted by an angry crowd. Now, these people who who have went in a historically black neighborhood shouting hate and waving Nazi flags are called protesters. And they're met with an angry crowd. Why aren't they the angry crowds who are met with people protesting them bringing that shit in their neighborhood? Do you see what I'm saying here? It's very, very subtle. It's very subtle. But it permeates. Let's continue. I covered this story when it happened.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kyle Linsky.
And I'm Paula Toti. We are following breaking news. Neo-Nazis bring their message to a busy spot along I-75.
Yeah, demonstrators and a banner were both spotted on an overpass between Evendale and the historically black village of Lincoln Heights. There was a swift response there. Local 12's Paige Barn has been in that area this afternoon and joins us now live with the latest. Paige.
Yeah, hey guys, the protesters have since cleared out, as well as the counter protests. Just before 3, right behind me on this overpass, as you mentioned, there were about 13 people who were dressed in black, waving a white supremacist flag, and some of them had swastikas as well as carrying rifles on them. Now, shortly after, a counter protest of Lincoln Heights residents say they chased the protesters away, took the flag from the bridge, and burned it. Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies tried to disperse the residents, but they made their way to a Jeep they believed belonged to one of the white supremacists. They slashed the tires and the windows were punched out. Now, as a historically black neighborhood, residents add they will not allow hate to come in.
That's what Lincoln Heights is about. You know, you hear a lot of things, but we're a community at heart, and a proud historical African American community. So things of that nature, symbols of that nature, don't stand here. You know, it said, you know, that's a symbol of hate. We're a community of pride and love.
We're working.
And we're not going to forget that they were escorted, these Nazis, they were escorted out of the area by police officers. Let me show you this last one that I also shared with you. This is in Cincinnati, Ohio. They think that Ohio is the place to be. I shared this with you as well. Let me play this.
Short North, downtown Columbus right now.
and there are literally Nazis shouting the N-word, shouting profanities about Jewish people, walking the streets right now with guns and a megaphone. I'm in short.
Okay, now, this didn't show her full statement. She also said that one of them had a gun. She said that they were maybe this is the full one. Let me see, is this the full one?
I'm in Short North, downtown Columbus right now, and there are literally Nazis shouting the N-word, shouting profanities about Jewish people, walking the streets right now with guns and a megaphone.
Oh, she did say that. Maybe she did say that in the last one. Now, what happened to these people? What happened to these people is the police officers bought them in and bought them in. Or was that the other group? I get these groups confused. The police officers did bring one of those groups in and talk to them about a threat, and they were let go. So if anybody is surprised about this type of stuff going on in Ohio, it's because you have your head under a rock. So I just play to you what the right wing is spinning to say that black people have no place in decent society. Does that sound familiar to you, as they're trying to take our voting rights away, as they're trying to take repeal the Voting Rights Act, Section 2, which says that a group of people have the right to keep their group together, which means if there is a Hispanic voting pool, you cannot go in and just tear apart the Hispanic voting pool because you don't like it. If there is a black voting pool, you cannot just go in and rip that district apart because you don't like the power that comes with them being represented. They have the right to vote for a representative that of their choice that represents them and their needs, and that's exactly what Texas do. They have stepped all over the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and it has been allowed. So I just wanted to give you this information. A lot of people are so ignorant that they don't think that voting matters anyway. If voting didn't matter, do you think they'd be doing all of this to stymie your vote? So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you all. If you learned something, thank Tisa. I really appreciate